Why is blackface Hitler trending on Twitter right now? What's going on?
Because of the prime minister. It's the prime minister of Canada.
It's because of the television
the
amigo.
other day when Keem was like, Canada needs to take over the government or something.
Dude, honestly, dude, it's so scary what's happening in Canada right now.
It's crazy.
Like, dude, it's so bad. Do you guys even know what's happening?
I know the basics.
Why is it scary?
I know the basics.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
God.
why is it scary?
Oh.
I wanna understand this too.
Oh shit.
Keem, welcome to the leftist politics. How you doing?
Well, we're not all leftists. I'm a lib, but yeah.
All right. Well, if I could speak my mind on the situation, basically you have essential workers, right? Because they're essential. They're truck drivers, and they're delivering food to the masses, right? During a pandemic, there is no vaccination whatsoever. Hasn't even been developed yet, and they're going and they're delivering the food. They're driving the trucks, right? And then the vaccination comes out. 90% of these truck drivers in Canada get vaccinated, right? And for some reason, the government wants to put a mandate, a vaccination mandate on these truckers. And these truckers say, no, I don't think so. We're going to protest, right? Which I would say a big portion of the protesters are actually vaccinated. Like, what is the point of the mandate? Why do you need the mandate? These guys were running around delivering food when there was no vaccination. So why are you trying to punish them with a mandate? Regardless, they start protesting or whatever. They park their trucks. Bro, the government comes in, orders the cops to steal their gas so they don't have gas in their trucks. Then some guy's honking the horn, old man just supporting the protest. They haul him away. The old 70-year-old haul him away in handcuffs for honking the horn on his vehicle. Bro, now today, they just announced, first of all, they shut down all the fundraising for this, right? They got all that nipped in the butt. Bro, they're now freezing bank accounts of the people protesting, okay, arresting them. Yesterday, a reporter got trampled by a horse because the cops just rolled in with horses and stomped over people. Bro, it's the biggest shit show in the world. And if anybody supports what the Canadian Prime Minister is doing, I would argue that you are not for freedom of speech, which is a God-given human right to every human on the planet in every single country.
Yeah, I mean, you have the right to protest, but you don't really have the right to shut down, like, the entire economy, right? Which eventually leads to, like, people, like, not getting food or essential,
The entire economy was shut down?
They were literally losing millions of dollars every day.
So? They're doing border crossing obstructions, and also, I mean, the Canadian Trucking Alliance has stated that most of the protesters there are not even associated with trucking.
How'd they get the trucks? How'd they get the trucks there? Answer that question. Where'd the fucking trucks come from? Come on, help me out. Help me out. Big trucks blocking the roads. Where'd the trucks come from if they're not from the truck?
Yeah, it can be like a few people with trucks, but the majority of the people, at the protests are not truckers.
The majority of the people. Bro, are the majority of the people blocking the bridges?
Wait,
or are the
it doesn't even really matter, right?
The trucks blocking the bridges?
It doesn't
the
really.
people or the goddamn trucks? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Shut up. Just close your Twitch channel altogether, you fucking moron.
Keem really doesn't want to hear anything.
That's just so fucking stupid. What just came out of your mouth? The majority of the people aren't truckers. Then where the fuck do trucks come from? Just go fuck off.
Do they have a? Do they have to come?
Would you at least agree that a sizable amount of them are not truckers, right? They're people that are there supporting the cause otherwise.
Oh my god.
For other reasons.
People in the chat, she's trying to say these aren't even truckers, but where the fuck are all these trucks coming from?
KEEMSTAR, obviously some of them are truckers. Obviously some of them are truckers.
Wait. Why are the cops stealing gas? Gas from who? Just random people that aren't truckers? This is the stupidest thing ever said. Ever.
Obviously some of them are truckers.
Do another thing every time you.
Thing I've ever fucking heard in my
life. They're going to Bob's Tractor Trailer Emporium.
KEEMSTAR, let's focus on one point here, right? Right now, your problem is with the statement that the Canadian Trucking Alliance has said that most protesters are not related to trucking, right? Before we get on to anything else, are you contesting that?
Listen, I can see when
are you contesting that?
Listen to what I'm
Are
saying.
you contesting?
I don't care what some random.
Why
fucking
then? Why are you
person
freaking out
said.
over it? Why are you freaking out over it?
Because I'm freaking out.
Why are you
freaking
losing
out.
your shit, homie?
Let me answer
like,
the
you're getting
question.
so
Why are
emotional.
you cutting me? Why are you cutting me off? Why are you not letting me speak?
Yeah, Stardust.
Go right
Jesus.
ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay, you
never
asked
stop
me,
talking.
am I contesting what this person said? First of all, I didn't hear what they said, but I don't care what they said. I have fucking eyes with 20/20 vision. I can go on YouTube, I can go on Twitch and see trucks parked in the fucking road. For you to act like somehow they're not truckers and to bring that point up in bad fucking faith like a complete moron is a complete disrespect to this entire channel, to every single one of your fans. You are saying that these
Canadian
people in
Trucker
this
Alliance,
stream to
dude.
watch you are stupid. You are making a mockery of
you have
regular
sources?
intelligence.
Do you have sources beyond your own eyes? Beyond your own 2 eyes? For what you're claiming?
Videos, proofs. You literally said
videos are not proof, okay? I have like you can your individual view of a situation is not necessarily
Let me
going
ask
to
you
be
a
the
question.
truth.
Where are the trucks coming from? Are they
There's some of them are truckers, but most of them are not.
Are they planted by the Illuminati, by the New World Order?
No,
Do
they're
they
not
bring the
planted.
trucks in?
Obviously, there
They're
are
not planted.
some
So they are
truckers
trucks.
there, but
So they are
majority of them are
truckers.
not.
Wait,
Wait, that's not a
Shut up.
contradiction at all. That's not a contradiction at all.
It's completely reasonable to say that
is-
it's to be expected that some amount of non-truckers are going to support this movement, right?
No
Yeah.
shit. No
Yeah,
shit.
okay,
obviously.
exactly, right?
I'm
So
not a
like,
trucker.
okay,
I'm not
so
a trucker.
what portion
Okay,
is truckers and what
good,
portion
great.
is other people is kind of it's
It
besides
doesn't
the
really
point, right?
matter. It doesn't really
What
matter.
we were trying to
Portion
talk
matters.
about is what about the response of the federal government, in this case Canada, right? What about that is scary to you?
My God, it's a peaceful protest.
Well,
What
he
are you
just-
saying?
Yeah, it's
So
a peaceful
here's the
protest.
thing.
but
He's
do you think
talking
that, do you
about-
think that protesters have the right to literally halt an entire economy, which basically puts a huge crunch on small businesses, right? Local economies, right? The basically blocking essential like medical
protest
supplies
is?
and food.
You know what protest is? What
Yeah.
are you saying?
Yeah, but
They're like
Keem,
teacher
okay, but
strikes,
Keem,
and
how
teacher
many
strikes,
people,
totally okay
how
with
many
BLM
people do you
protests
let
burning
die?
down
How many
food
businesses
precincts
do you
and
let
stuff.
shut down? How much do you let the economy suffer, which has a greater impact on the entire
It's a
like,
protest.
government?
It's a protest. That's what protesting is.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, but you
protesting
can't
make a
protest
change.
indefinitely, right? There's a point where you have to either meet their demands or say no, we're not going to entertain
So
this.
there's a point where you become a dictator. Is that what you're saying? That we lose our human
So
rights?
why
for
should
being-
when the majority of the country
They have
wait,
no
wait,
legal
guys.
right to do this in the first place.
When-
It's an
when a
illegal
majority-
protest.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
What do
and
you
when a
mean they have
majority
no
of the
legal
country
right?
does not agree with the
government-
protesters,
the
then
government
why
had-
would
no,
we?
no,
why
no, no,
why
no,
is
no,
the
no, no,
majority of
no,
the
no, 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 no,
population
no, no,
being
no,
held
no, no, no,
hostage
no, no,
economically
no, no, no,
by
no, no,
one
no, no,
small
no,
group
no,
of
no.
people?
No. You don't get to say the majority of the population doesn't support the truckers. You don't get to say that. You don't
Why
get
not?
to say that because you have no fucking facts to back it up.
All right,
Absolutely
I'll pull
none.
it up for you. I'll pull it up for you
Source.
right
Where's
now.
Your source. What is the
I'll,
source?
I'll pull it up for you right
What
now.
is the source?
I mean,
Give me a second.
What is the source? I guarantee.
I feel like it's pretty
the fucking
split.
source is incredible at all.
Do you think
guarantee
that the
source-
popularity?
bring it up
Do you,
for
do you
you.
think that the public opinion on whether or not a protest is good or bad should determine the response by the
Do
federal
you
government?
think maybe shutting your fucking mouth? Let's get to this question.
Well,
before you fucking
it's
open up-
besides the
Oh,
point.
fuck
It doesn't
you,
matter if the
dumb
public.
bitch. We're sitting here talking about some other thing, and then you're like, well, what about this? And what about this? What about this? What about shut the fuck up? I'm not even talking to you. I don't even know who the fuck you are.
Well, I really just want to know,
No,
like, what the fuck
I'm
is
not-
so scary
I'm
about the
muting you.
response? The
I'm
fact that they're
muting
just
you.
shutting
I'm
down.
Muting you. I am muting you, and I'm not going to communicate with you at all because I was never talking to you in the first place.
I just
Bye.
want to. I just want to know
Bye,
your
bitch.
opinion.
Bye. You got shut down.
Sorry,
no freedom
Mind
of
Waves.
speech for you. No freedom of speech for
Oh,
you.
sorry,
bitch.
Mind
Damn,
Waves.
you're being a
It's my
dictator.
fingers.
Are you?
Alright,
Wait, whoa,
okay.
Keem acting like
So,
Justin Trudeau right
Here,
now? What the fuck?
I'm going to link a couple of things in the general chat here. 2/3 of Canadians support military force to end the Ottawa protest. That's the first one I'm going to
From
link.
who? From who?
City News, toronto.citynews.ca.
So the government? The government? What is that? What is that? What is the source? What is City
The
News?
source, let's see.
I mean, a third of the population agreeing with the
A
protest.
new
is
poll.
a big number.
The latest survey by the Maru Public Opinion finds 64% approve using armed forces to clear out the trucks with heavy
I don't
tows.
trust them.
I don't trust them.
All right, here's second poll.
See,
Second poll.
It doesn't matter.
Any poll,
source you
yeah.
have, he's just gonna say it's fake news.
That's okay. I'm gonna link them anyways for people
for sure.
in who are listening in my YouTube or whatever. Okay, 2 out of 3, 68% interviewed in our latest nationwide poll feel they have very little in common with how the protesters in Ottawa see things. So here we go. Here we go. That's the second one. Okay, the third one.
How that's worded. No, go to the second one. Read that again. What's the title? What's the title of that?
Pandemic frustration may be running high, but more don't side with the so-called Freedom Convoy. Okay. I don't think that. Why does the title matter even when we're talking about a poll?
Okay. Listen, February 11th, nearly half, 46% of Canadians say they do not agree. Well, let me get the full statement here. Okay, 46% of Canadians say they may not agree with everything the trucker Convoy says or does, but so apparently, according to whatever this is, about 46% support, 61% don't, and I guess there's people in the middle.
And that's still majority that don't.
And I don't trust like a left-leaning media to get those sources.
Okay. That's fine. So, third one that I'm linking is.
Does the news lie? Wait. Does the news lie? Does the media lie?
They do get things. They get things wrong sometimes.
Do they get things wrong or do they lie? Those are two different things. Do they get
depends.
things wrong?
I guess some of them do.
Lie? Some of them deliberately lie. Okay.
More than 80% of the eligible population is fully vaccinated, and a recent opinion poll by Abacus Data suggested 68% of Canadians felt they had.
I've learned over the years that you can't trust any poll numbers ever. You can't trust poll numbers.
Okay, so then there would be nothing that I could.
What do you trust?
Wait, hey! I'm having a conversation here. Okay.
I mean, Stardust, can you go and talk to every single Canadian and ask them?
No, I can't. But again,
so then we
proving.
Can't trust polls.
Wait a minute.
Can't trust polls.
I understand what you're saying, but again, you were proving the point that no matter what I would provide to you, I wouldn't be able to change your mind anyways, right?
No. I'm proving the point that what you said is bullshit.
What could I provide to you? What could I provide to you that would prove my?
If you went and talked to every single Canadian and got their opinion, yeah, but you came out and said, "Did you know that the majority of Canadians don't support the truckers?" You can't back that claim up, so shut the fuck up.
61%.
That's my point. No, you can't. No, you can't.
I can.
But
here's the thing.
No poll can be trusted.
Sure.
You're talking out of your ass.
I can provide whatever sources I have, and you won't believe it. That's fine.
Go to my Twitter.
Yeah,
Stardust, go to my Twitter.
Stardust,
I'm tweeting out now that 97% support the truckers. All right, that's your source.
Twitter.
So
what am I doing?
I'm tweeting out that 97% of Canadians support the truckers. I'm going to tweet it out.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
No, but you have to take that as fact.
I don't actually.
People as fact.
Do you have a poll? Do you have a poll that you are citing when you're tweeting that out?
Do you want me to put a poll on Twitter?
Wait, Stardust, you don't understand. Keem's a verified news source on Twitter. He's got a check mark.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put a poll out on Twitter?
Sure, if you want to. I mean,
okay, but then what
is it going to be Canadian? Is it going to be like? Are you going to restrict it to people who are Canadian? Are you going to restrict it to people who are within?
Have you ever done the research on these polls that you're stating as fact right now? Have you?
I mean, I'm looking at.
Who did they ask? How was the poll conducted? Let's get the backgrounds. I mean, you're bringing this up like this is fact, so prove it.
Sure.
It's not on me, it's on you.
Yeah, sure.
KEEMSTAR, Colossal is crazy on Twitter said that you wouldn't be debating for the truckers if they were going 70 miles per hour on Christmas Eve. How do you respond?
True.
That is true.
Oh my god.
The truckers killed the dog, dude. Are you gonna support dog killers, bro?
Damn.
Wait, okay, I saw something. I don't. This is kind of relevant. I saw like a post that was talking about like the Canadian.
Good night, Econoboy. Sorry, Econoboy left.
That they were like taking the truckers' dogs.
Yeah, Stardust. Do you agree with them like stealing the truckers' gas? Do you agree with them like literally freezing the truckers' bank accounts?
So as far as stealing gas, I don't know about that one, but I think freezing bank accounts, while it's like not the best not the best thing, is still better than military force going in there. I would prefer them to not have military force, like
You are
You
insane. You are insane. What if
Okay,
the government?
that's fine.
Are you Canadian? Are you Canadian?
I am not Canadian, no.
Okay, well, imagine you're Canadian and they're watching your Twitch stream and they don't like an opinion you have, so they freeze your bank account.
I don't think they're
Trudeau, don't
freezing
freeze
bank
my
accounts. Okay, I don't think they're freezing I don't think they're freezing bank accounts because of an opinion. They are freezing bank accounts because people are blocking trade routes and blocking
in a protest.
Yeah, but
Sure.
Do you know what a
these
fucking
actually,
protest is? Do you know the history on protests? Like, do you
yeah,
know anything
but
about
when you
protest?
okay, here's the thing. Let
Do
me
you know
explain.
what a protest is?
I
No,
do.
you don't. No,
I
you
do.
don't.
Okay,
Where
I
did you
do.
go to school?
I'm in the DC area.
What
I
is
went
the
to school in the
oldest?
DC area.
What is the oldest protest that you can remember learning about?
I mean, there's like very, very much the when we rebelled against the British. I mean, like, yeah, it's an integral part of American culture, and I'm sure Canadian culture too. But when I talk about protests, yes, you have the right to express your freedom of speech, and you have the right to express your freedom to live, right? But when your protesting is hindering the freedoms of other people, that's when we have a problem.
It's a protest. What?
Protests you only go as far until you start hindering the freedom of other people. Then there needs to be something done. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
How does truckers losing their...
I disagree. Because what you just said right there goes right back to the mandate, all right? The government is coming in mandating that these people need to be vaccinated in order to drive a truck. That is hindering on the freement of others, and something needs to be done. So what you have just suggested is that the prime minister needs to go because he is hindered on the freedoms of others. You have
That's
just
the prime
fucked
minister's
yourself.
job.
You have
That's
just
the prime
fucked
minister's
yourself.
job.
You have
The
just
job of
fucked
the trucker.
yourself.
No, I haven't.
have
The
won
truckers.
this argument.
You have not.
You have
I'm
just
sorry.
stated it right then and there. You lose. I win.
You've not. You've not won. Okay, so it is the president's
you
job
just said
to
it
make
right
decisions.
There, you dumbass. You fucking just said it right there. What are you saying? You just said.
Will you let me speak?
If it hinders on
KEEMSTAR.
another person's freedoms,
KEEMSTAR.
then something needs to be done.
KEEMSTAR.
When they tried to
KEEMSTAR.
enforce the mandate against
KEEMSTAR.
the truckers, that is hindering on their freedom, and something needs to be done.
Right. Okay, so it is not the trucker's duty to make decisions for the
Look at the
population
chat.
of
Keem
Canada.
Keem won. It's over.
Okay,
It's
You have a
over.
I'm not
poll
looking
now?
at chat right now. I'm not looking at chat right
You
now.
set a mouse
I'm trying
trap
to
and
explain.
You stepped on it. You set
Yeah,
a
are
mouse
you gonna
trap
let me
and you
speak?
stepped on
Are you gonna
it.
let me speak?
You stepped
This
on
is
it.
not. This is not how I do things with people. Okay,
This is how
so
I do things. You lost.
okay, KEEMSTAR. The
Based on your
it is
own
not
logic,
the job.
Based on your own logic.
No, it's
you
not
lost.
based on my own logic. You don't understand
You
how fucking
lost.
government works, dude. If
You
you can't
lost,
understand
bro.
how basic jobs work
Don't
and
get
how
salty.
the
Stop
responsibility.
screaming. You just lost.
I'm not
I'm sorry.
screaming. You're the
You
one who's been
lost.
screaming. Okay, yeah. Do I look like I'm screaming right now?
You lost. I'm sorry. You lost.
Okay, whatever makes you feel better, KEEMSTAR. But
It doesn't
again,
make me
it is
feel
not
better.
the truckers.
I knew coming in that I was gonna win. Like, it's not a surprise, but you lost.
It's not the trucker's job to make decisions for the rest of the populace. It is, however, the president's job or the
What are you
prime
saying?
minister's
It's a
job to make
Hold on,
decisions
hold
for the
on,
other
hold on,
for the
hold
rest of the
on,
populace.
hold on.
You elect a
No,
representative
no,
who is there to
no,
represent
no,
what your
no,
best needs
no,
are. And when
no,
that happens,
no,
you're entrusting. This is called
No,
consent
no,
of the
no.
governed, actually,
No, no,
where
no.
the governed are actually giving the consent of the people that they elect to make decisions on their behalf. So yes, it is the decisions. It is within the prime minister's power. It is within the politician's power to make decisions that are best for the populace as a whole. When it is truckers, no, we did not elect those truckers as our representatives.
The truckers that were protesting peacefully, right? Did you know that they added
But
on
we're
to
also
the...
like holding
Hold
up
on, I'm sorry, I'm still
economically the
talking.
country
I'm still
economically.
Talking, bitch, I'm talking. Stop.
Do you
Alright,
think
listen.
calling me bitch like does anything
Why
for me?
W?
Well, you're fucking interrupting me, all right? The truckers who are peacefully
Here's-
protesting.
Okay.
What, you're gonna interrupt me again? Are you gonna interrupt me again? Are you gonna interrupt me again? Can't get a sentence out. Okay.
My mouth is closed.
All right, thank you. So the truckers who are peacefully protesting, right? The government had to come and put an extension on something called like the Terrorist Act, right? They have this Terrorist Act, this law, right, in Canada to freeze bank accounts of terrorists. They had to like change and amend that law to include the truck drivers, literally calling their own people who are peacefully protesting fucking terrorists, bro. You're on the side of these people. You're insane. You're an insane person. You're crazy.
So if you had a group of protesters who were were economically crippling the country, would you be okay with just watching it happening?
Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to talk now. Please don't interrupt. All right. Chat. This woman just said the protesters were crippling the nation, right? No, the Prime Minister had Canadians in lockdown multiple times and shut the entire government down. This woman is talking on a hill of fucking lies, a hill of bullshit. Every word that comes out of your mouth gets slapped right back at you. Stop speaking. Take the L and go home.
I'm sorry. I like arguing too much.
Hill of lies. What a dumbass. Like, the fucking Prime Minister put the country in lockdown multiple times when it didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Like, he's crippling. These protesters are crippling the economy. What did worse? The protesters sitting there with their protest in the street, or the Prime Minister shutting down the entire country multiple times? I mean, you just are so fucking dumb. Why would you make an argument that can just slap you right in the face? It's so stupid.
Do you know about all the blockades? Do you know do you know where all the blockades are? Do you know where all the blockades are?
East Bridge.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Border crossings.
Right, there's the Alberta-Montana border crossing, the Ontario-Michigan border crossing, the British Columbia-Washington crossing, and the Manitoba-North Dakota crossing. These are border crossing obstructions in 4 separate places. When you can't do trade through 4 border crossing places, it's going to cripple the economy. When they say that 80% of the truckers are vaccinated, 85%, and those 85% of truckers can't cross the border to do their job, yes, you are not only economically crippling Canada, you are also obstructing the freedom of other people who want to go and do their jobs.
Chat.
The rioting in Canada needs to stop.
This is how protesting works, right? So, like, you know, you're at a job, right? And you're not happy with the wages. So, like, everyone refuses to go into work. They have signs outside of the front of a factory or something like that. I'm talking to chat, not you, so stop saying uh-huh. So, you know, these truckers are doing the same exact thing. Like, they're protesting. They're the ones that are shipping these goods back and don't say right. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to chat. So the truckers are going back and forth, delivering all of this stuff for everyone. So they're protesting their job of literally feeding and like helping the entire nation. Why should they be punished when they didn't do anything wrong? It was the Prime Minister who put the country in lockdown. It was the Prime Minister who shut everything down. The truckers went into the lion's den. They didn't sit home like you, Stardust, in lockdown. No, the truckers went out and worked to make sure you went out and got your little cupcakes and shit. And you want to sit here and talk shit about them, those essential workers? You might as well start talking shit about the nurses that cared for people with COVID. I mean,
well, that's what I would like to ask you, actually, regarding the convoy. There were paramedics that were attacked because of the vitriol that protesters have towards medical workers. Do you consider medical workers as working as like the average worker?
Don't believe it. What's your sources? The Prime Minister?
I'll pull it up for you.
The Prime Minister? I don't believe you.
Sure, I will pull it up for you. Secondly, and actually, I want to address chat now too, okay? So yes, chat, there have been medical workers who have been attacked as a result of the vitriol that some of the protesters have. There have been medical workers who have been advised to not wear scrubs on the way to work because they're afraid.
The details?
What's the details? Excuse me, I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to chat right now.
Give us the details.
Okay, so there were medical workers who were advised not to wear scrubs when going into work because they have experienced
What does that have to
vitriol.
do with
They've
the
experienced
protesters? What does that have
slurs
to do with the
towards them.
protesters?
I'm still talking to chat. I'm not talking to you. Again, 2/3 of Canadians support military force to end the Ottawa protest. Now, I think economic.
I disagree.
I think
I'm
not speaking to you, Keemstar. I'm gonna mute him. I'm gonna mute him.
None of your
All right.
polls prior to that back that up.
So I'm going to keep talking until I'm finished, and then I will unmute him on my end. But the rest of you can probably still hear him. So 2/3 of Canadians support military force to end the Ottawa protest. I actually think that it's better that they are taking economic measures to do that, because economic measures at least are not beating the fuck out of protesters. I would prefer economic measures be taken on protesters rather than brutal force. Then we can look at the Abacus data, where 2 out of 3 interviewed in the nationwide poll felt like they had very little in common with how protesters in Ottawa see things. They also felt that the protest was offensive and inappropriate. And let's see here. I think that there's enough, like, even the Canadian Trucker Association saying that majority of the people protesting are not truckers. Yes, some are. But when you were blocking 4 different border crossing places, yeah, I think that there is an issue there. And when you are the majority of the populace and you're watching your your country, I'm a little bit high. You're watching your country get crippled economically because there are 4 border crossings that are being obstructed, and there are trading routes being obstructed. Are you just going to sit there and watch it happen? Yes, the pandemic was hard on everybody, but if majority of the Canadians are vaccinated and majority of them support what's going on, and it's a minority, a very small minority that's protesting like this, then yeah, you don't have the right to use your protest to infringe on the rights of other people. When we talk about freedom should apply to all people, not just to people who are upset, not just to protesters. This is why I didn't support the burning down of police precincts during BLM, right? You don't get to justify infringing on other people's rights.
Oh my God.
Because you're upset by something, especially when the majority of the populace is doing their best, trying to go to their jobs, trying to continue on with their lives, trying to follow, the mandates, get vaccinated, and you've got medical workers who are worked to the bone on both ends. So yeah, that's just my stance on it. So.
Okay, she still got me muted.
I have him unmuted now. So.
You got me unmuted. Okay, so you're equaling honking horns to burning down police stations. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I brought up the 4 border crossings, right? That were obstructed.
I want to ask you a question. What are your thoughts?
Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on abortion? I am pro-choice.
I'm pro-choice too.
We're both pro-choice, right? Right? My body, my choice, right?
I mean, yeah.
Government went and told these people that they have to get a medical procedure done, or they can't drive
a medical
truck.
Procedure? A shot is a medical procedure?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Performed by a doctor.
Okay. So no, a shot is not a medical procedure. A shot. We have had mandated shots in the past. This is not something new. And vaccines, when you don't get a vaccine, you don't have when you get
my body, my choice.
Let me explain it to you.
My body, my choice.
You can continue that. Sure.
I'm a free person. I'm a free person. I live in a free country.
Sure.
My body, my choice.
Your freedom is you are entitled to your freedom.
Stuff.
Are you going to let me speak?
Stop with that. No. I will not let you.
I'm just gonna mute you then.
I will not let you speak with your Nazi Germany stuff. My
Nazi
body,
Germany.
my choice. I'm free. You can't do a medical procedure
I
on
support your freedom and I support your right to protest. But when you're when you do things that are infringing on the rights of other people to be free, you're infringing on immunocompromised people's rights. You're infringing on the elderly. Then yeah, I'm going to have a problem with it.
Okay, Stardust, let me talk. I'm just gonna say one thing, and we can just end this all again. All right. You once again said that you can infringe your protest or whatever, right? This protest is bad because it's infringing on other people's rights, and you can't do that, and something needs to be done. This all started by the Prime Minister infringing on Canadian citizens' rights by mandating they get a medical procedure done. You are pro-choice. My body, my choice. That's what these truckers are talking about. You're a walking, talking hypocrite. You're an idiot. Good night.
He's gone.
Imagine being so much of a pussy that you can't just get a shot. I don't know.
Here's my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Canadian,
hey, let me
by the
finish.
way.
No, I want to
okay.
finish. I want to finish.
Okay, I'll let the American finish talking about
Yes,
the country.
thank you. Sorry, Bowblax, we'll let you go after. This is my new strategy. I have to yell over people because they try to interject. They try to interject when I'm in the middle of talking to people. Anyways, yes, I think there's a disconnect in how KEEMSTAR understands what the duties of a public official or like a government member are versus the duties of the average person. I did not elect people who are average, sorry, let me rephrase this. People of Canada did not elect truckers to make decisions on behalf of the entire populace. What they did elect was they elected Trudeau.
I didn't.
They elected their politicians. Well, you didn't, but there is consent. There is consent of the governed, and that is a fundamental concept that you need to understand when you're talking about politics. So here, let's just go over it real quick here, and then I'll let you take over, Bowblax. But consent of the governed is the idea that a government's legitimacy and moral right to use state power is justified and lawful only when consented to by the people or society over which that political power is exercised. Now, when we in America vote for our politicians, that is what we are doing. We are giving our consent to be governed, just like when Canadians vote to elect people like Trudeau or elect other politicians, they are giving their consent to be governed. However, truckers they have the right to protest. Everybody has the right to protest. But when that protest is infringing on the economic security of the entire country, who vastly disagree with what's going on, vastly disagree with the protesters, then yes, something needs to be done.
It's like freezing their fucking bank accounts?
Yeah, I would
it's a
rather
little
them
extreme. A little extreme.
Rarely,
Stealing gas,
right?
a little extreme.
Maybe stealing gas, yeah, but I would still say that I would rather them freeze bank accounts than send the military in to beat them up.
Well,
what?
On that regard, I think that the rioting needs to fucking stop, and I don't care if they send the military in to start. Twitch.
Alright, that's not how we do things in Canada. We don't mow down protesters like in America. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Look, we don't
that never happened. Joke.
That was a joke.
Here's the thing. Truckers not wanting to get the vaccine, fucking cringe, just do it. Trudeau freezing bank accounts, like, are you, like, retarded? Like, Trudeau...
Bowblax, let me ask you,
Bro.
Bowblax, would you rather the military and the police be sent in there?
I would rather them just say,
I
hey,
would.
the mandate's gone, fucking continue your job.
I would prefer the military and police.
Yeah,
over-
I would much prefer that.
Really?
I think Trudeau should
I don't
just bow
like
down.
the fucking. I kind of agree on the whole like. It's really cringe with the freezing of the bank account.
It is cringe. Trudeau's
I
a
think they
fucking cringe
needed to have a
motherfucker.
response. I think they needed to have a response. I just don't like this one.
Dude, Trudeau's such a fucking
I think
a
that those
clown, man.
powers should be reserved for dealing with like actual cases of terrorism.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
Here's the
Trudeau's
thing.
a
Here's the
cringe
thing.
motherfucker.
They are okay, sure, maybe. And I felt a little bit weird about it initially when I saw it too. But the thing is that economically, you were watching a country suffer because of a small percentage of them, like a very small
Exactly.
percentage.
So fucking just agree with the mandate, dude. Like.
Well,
Trudeau's
okay,
way
but
too
here's the thing: they
overprotective.
won't. They won't. You
It's
know
because
they won't.
Trudeau wants to win, dude. Trudeau just wants to win, dude. He started an emergency election, a non-scheduled election, emergency election in the middle of COVID just so he could get more votes. Trudeau's like. Trudeau
Wait,
just
do you
wants
think,
to win all
do
the
you
time,
think that this
man.
mandate is about winning for Trudeau?
Well, why? Okay, why doesn't he just say like, okay, well, majority of truckers are vaccinated, just whatever, let the unvaccinated ones go through and continue the economy. Like, obviously, he has to stop it some way. Why would he elect
truckers?
Why would he elect
The
the freezing bank accounts before complying with their simple demands?
Because the demands are not supported by the majority of the population. And again, when you are an elected official, your duty is to represent the majority of the population.
What's their
while
official
still protecting...
votes? Did we put in our mail-in
But
votes
that's
or go
not
to
how
the voting
democracy
ballot?
works, right? We have a representative
What?
democracy. We vote on our representatives, and they represent us.
Yeah,
That's how this
except
works.
Canada is a minority government. Trudeau runs by a minority government. You do like Trump or not Trump. Trudeau only has like 51% of seats, 52% of seats. What did the Conservative Party have to say about this? What does the Green Party have to say about this? What did the Bloc de Croix have to say about this?
Who holds the majority of the seats?
What do you mean? That's how Canadian government works. It isn't just one party in charge. We're not American government. We work differently.
Yeah, but that's how politics works, right? Politics
American
is about power.
politics.
And if your party can't establish power within the
They
federal
have
government,
power.
then that's the fault of the party. Obviously, the people don't support the party enough to where they maintain a sizable enough majority to have influence, right? So take the L. I don't know. That's how democracy works. Like, I don't know.
This is how it works. When you elect people to represent you, they represent the majority of the oh, I see KEEMSTAR is back. Okay.
Bring Keem back.
All right. Let's get ready for him to yell.
I don't...
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try my hardest not to... Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll try my hardest not to yell. But, like, you keep on saying, like, dude, the truckers should just give the shot. How about the government stops with the mandates?
That's what I'm saying.
Because the vast majority of people
Vast majority talking out of your ass again. No, false.
I
You're
mean,
wrong.
I linked things, but it's okay.
Keem, if you're just gonna come in here and say that like every study or poll that you present is just fake, but like my YouTube videos are like real evidence, then there's really no having any conversation with you about what is reality, right?
No, I mean, you're wrong. You're like trying to convince us that the majority of average people support the government telling us what type of medical procedures to have. Like, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
It's not a medical procedure.
What? What are you talking about? Do you get a shot?
How do you think we got rid of polio?
I guess you go to your gardener. Your local gardener gives you a shot then. I guess you go to, I don't know, a lawyer. The lawyer gives you the vaccine. Right?
Not everything a doctor does is a medical procedure, right?
Yeah, it's not like it's actually not coded. It's not even coded as a medical procedure.
Would
right?
you say that like administering birth control is a medical procedure?
What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? Does your dog trainer come give you a fucking vaccine
Bro,
shot?
administering medicine isn't a medical procedure, right? This is not some grand
procedure. What are you saying? Who gives you a vaccination? What the fuck is coming out of your mouth? I'm so mind blown.
Keem, do you think everything a doctor does is a medical procedure?
Mind waves. I think he still has you muted.
Yeah, I think he still oh, I see. Yeah, okay, Mind Waves.
Keem, would you mind unmuting Mind Waves?
Oh no, dude, he's staying muted. Fuck that.
Okay. All right.
Dude,
Well,
that guy is talking to me with such like I don't even know. Soy energy. I can't. No.
He's
no.
I
he's
don't
fucking
know,
scared.
Keemstar.
How is
You're
he gonna call me
Wait
soy
a
when he's
minute.
fucking
Wait a
scared?
minute. Keemstar is the one with the soy energy here, muting somebody because he can't handle somebody's opinion. Oh no! I gotta mute mind waves. I can't handle it. Soy.
Can I get a 1 in the chat if that guy had soy energy? Like, he really did deserve
Can
to
I
get
get
blocked.
a 2 in the chat if Keemstar is acting like a soy baby right
deserves
now?
Okay,
Can I get a 3 in chat
okay.
if soy is base?
Can
alright?
I have the definition of medical procedure right here, which is what Mindwaves asked, by the way. An activity directed or performed on an individual with the object of improving health, treating disease or injury, or making a diagnosis. COVID is a disease. Do we agree?
Wait, you don't treat COVID with the vaccine, Bowblax.
I mean, that's
You
the
prevent it.
definition.
Yeah, you don't.
So
Yeah, it's a
whatever
medical
you guys.
procedure.
It's a prevention. It's a preventative measure.
It's a medical procedure.
Okay.
This is so stupid.
It's literally
Why
necessary
are we
to
talking
end a
about that?
pandemic.
Like it's like you want to talk
I mean,
about
okay.
truckers in the road, like oh they're blocking the road, they're infringing freedoms. Bruh, the goddamn prime minister is forcing them to have a medical procedure. They're the ones that are infringing
We've forced
on the fucking rights of
vaccines
people.
before.
Like, what the fuck are you
We've
saying?
forced
What?
vaccines before.
Oh yeah, we also
How
had
did we get
slavery
rid
before.
of polio?
We had is slavery good? Is slavery okay? We had slavery before.
Do you think
sound
polio's good? Do you
stupid.
like polio?
You sound stupid.
Do you like polio?
Just
You sound
because something
stupid.
happened in the past.
Oh my
It's okay
God.
to do now.
Doesn't
Are you
he
supporting
not understand?
slavery?
You
Are you
support
supporting
polio?
slavery?
Do you support polio?
Are you supporting slavery?
Are you supporting polio? Are you supporting polio?
Why are you not
Polio-
Are you
answering the
supporting
question?
polio?
Polio
Are you
basically is
supporting
slavery,
polio?
Honestly.
Do you like polio? Keemstar likes polio. You heard it here first, guys.
This woman. I mean, it's really frustrating that you would even like. I'm like actually angry that like you're having this debate like a game because it's like your career and you want to do the debate stuff, but you're like fucking over your fellow human. Like we have individual fucking rights. We have freedom. That has to be protected at all costs. But you don't care. This is a game. This is a debate bro thing with you. And you're a fucking piece of shit for it. Like, I don't
No,
like
I
you.
do my research.
I really
I
don't
do my
like you.
research, but
I dead ass, like, no bullshit, no entertainment. I don't like you. I think you're
that's
a piece
okay.
of shit.
I don't need you to like me. That's fine.
Like, these opinions fuck over everyone. You're trying to imprison people. Like, you're
not.
shitty.
I'm not.
You are shitty.
If you're okay with people continuing to have okay, he left. He's okay, he's
I
upset.
do have an interesting
Fine.
question though, not aggressive at all. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think the freezing bank accounts is worse or the protest is worse? Like, which is the worst action of the two?
I don't know, dude, because I think it's a hard situation to be in. Like, how do you stop people from protesting, but you don't use like physical force on them, right? I see what he's trying to do.
Now, here's my disagreement with you. I think the solution is to give in to their simple demands. I think that's the solution.
When the
rather
majority
than freezing a bank.
don't support it,
Dude, okay, we froze their bank accounts.
when
Are
the
truckers
majority
gone?
don't support it,
Wait. Okay, I'll address that soon. But first, are the truckers gone? Are the protests done? What did freezing their bank accounts do?
I mean, it won't be.
It gave
work
them more
immediately.
legitimacy. It gave their dumb protests more legitimacy. That's what it did. But,
I mean, when you use, what do you think happens when military force is sent in? Do you think that gives them more legitimacy? They will say the same thing. They're brutalizing us instead, though. They'll say they're brutalizing us. They'll say that they will. They'll say that.
Yeah, but there'll be less trucks on the road if the military goes in.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The people literally don't care, right? They literally support that action. So like, who?
I suppose that's true.
I don't think it. I don't think it adds any legitimacy to the truckers.
It doesn't matter how many people support it. It matters. There's a problem, and Trudeau needs to find a solution. His solution.
So we just ignore the.
His solution was to freeze the bank accounts and steal gas, and I personally think that was a bad decision.
Sure.
That's it. That's literally it.
Okay, yeah, I think we can agree to disagree. However, what I would say is that, again, we don't give in to demands. when the majority of the people do not support those demands. It's unfair to the way how democracy is supposed to work. It's unfair to the populace who voted for a representative. It's unfair to give in to something that like is actually going to be worse for the population in general.
What's worse for the population though? The economy being stopped because of this trucker issue, or the like 2% of or like 15% of truckers who are gonna be unvaccinated going through the border, potentially infecting like what 100 more people? Which is worse?
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to repeat. I got distracted. Sorry, Bowblax. Like I legit got distracted. Can you repeat what you were asking?
He's asking which is worse, like the unvaccinated truckers or stopping the entire economy. Like
Yeah,
just if the unvaccinated truckers could just go.
The unvaccinated truckers were already stopping the entire economy, though, right?
No, the point is just letting them do their thing, just letting them drive trucks.
Yeah, but this is suggesting that we actually cave into their demands, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, she's wondering. He's wondering like which do you think like in general would be worse?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I don't think
it's a false
we're
choice, right? I think
can't, like,
the
pick for
protest just
them,
takes
but-
an L here, right? Like I think
Yeah.
you literally just like put a stop to the protest. They don't get their way. You don't meet their demands, right? There's literally no incentive to have to meet their demands.
Someone's making
I generally agree with that.
Someone's making a good point in chat. Were you polled on the mandate of truckers? And no, there was no like official election. I don't know what these polls are. Are you just saying everyone who voted Trudeau prior is just automatically okay with this?
Oh, the polls are opinion polls. I linked them in the general chat. You can take a look at them if you want.
I do.
They seem like
I
they're
mean,
from reputable sources.
based on
one of them
what-
from abacusdata.ca.
I'm not doubting the
reputable.
legitimacy of them.
Okay.
My issue with the whole thing is just I don't like freezing bank accounts. It seems like
Yes,
pretty fucked.
exactly. That's my issue.
I think that like. Yeah, I think that he has to kind of go with the majority on this one, and I think that cucking to a bunch of truckers would probably look objectively bad. That looks very weak.
Really bad.
I don't think
Yeah.
they can actually do that.
Well,
I think
They've done it
themselves quite a
before.
hole here.
I think the thing is that like all right, so their
with
ability
the teacher protests, the government cucked to that.
their
in
ability
2012.
to freeze assets right like that, right, to take these sorts of actions is based on the Emergencies Act. Keemstar didn't even know the name of the act, and not only that did he also lied about it, saying that like they had to amend it in order to apply it to this
No,
protest
they
or whatever.
didn't. No, they
Which
didn't.
is absolutely not true.
I'm not agreeing with Keem. I think the
No,
protest is
I know,
cringe,
but like, I forgot my broader point. It's besides the point.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
That's
get
fine.
you off track. I'm getting a little off track sometimes as well. It's
I'm a little bit high, so I am a little bit more spaced out.
yeah.
Well, I keep smoking, but
My argument
stop.
my personal opinion is very simple. Is that Trudeau, the trucker protest happened. Trudeau has a job and he has multiple options. I think the option he chose was worse than giving into the truckers' demands. Obviously,
I
there's
disagree with that.
Probably
I have a
other-
few questions. I'm not like super
Okay.
read up on it. I'm not gonna pretend I'm like a COVID expert. In
I'm
any
not.
capacity.
I'm not extremely read up on it either, but I do know like
No,
about Canadian.
I just want to know like
government,
why does it seem like Canada's taking a much harder approach?
because of Trudeau's government style. He's always been this way. He's been this way for a while. That's why I don't like him in office.
Because I was under the assumption that like once we're at like this certain vaccination rate and stuff like that, it really like if we go higher, it's not really going to stop the spread of the new variants.
Yeah, but Trudeau like is going way too ham with these requirements. I think.
So here we're probably just going to disagree on like what we find is an acceptable way to break up a protest, right? I don't think it's responsible to your populace when the majority of the populace disagrees with the protesters, and when majority of the protesters aren't even residents in the city they're protesting, right? I think there has to be something done. Now, whether you think that physical force by military intervention is the better option, or if you think that economic force is the better option, and we're just going to have disagreements on that. And I can definitely see how you would have questions about how this economic, like freezing people's bank accounts, it can be a slippery slope. Sure, I can definitely see your point there.
It's not a slippery slope. It's just useless. Like, what did it do? Like,
no, I mean, people have been leaving. But I still would say, like, I mean, we're just going to have to disagree on that one. But, like, I think that, again, if you are the elected leader, right, the elected prime minister, then you are just, you have a duty to the populace that elected you. And again, this goes back to a very fundamental concept, consent of the governed, right? And when you, as a person, take part in voting in somebody into office, you are also consenting to whoever the majority of the population votes in. That's why, even though I didn't like Trump when we voted him in, he was still the leader of the country, right? That's just how it works. That is a fundamental concept you have to understand when it comes to democracy.
Do you understand how, like, the Canadian government works? In terms of election process and stuff like that, like, generally, can you just give me, like, an overall guideline? I'm not trying to, like, do a gotcha on you or whatever. I'm curious, like, if you know or not.
I mean, I know you guys still have, like, the monarch or whatever, like, kind of, like, symbolically. But it's like, you guys have, like, a parliamentary system, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Trudeau is the leader of the Liberal Party, but there's also the leader of the Conservative Party and NDP and Green, and they all have seats in office, and Liberal has seats by a little bit more, but like, government decisions are still made, like, with Conservatives and other parties in mind. I guess the way, I don't know exactly how the Emergency Act works. I didn't expect to get into this debate, so I'd have to, like, look it up. But isn't, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you might know more about the Emergency Act, Mindwave might know it more as well. Isn't that just, like, kind of like an Emergency Act is when the Prime Minister or the President in the U.S. Kind of just on their own as, like, one individual without any deliberation with the other parties makes an executive decision for the country? Is that what it is?
The Emergencies Act, it refers to a specific piece of, like, legislation, which basically allows the government to use certain extrajudicial powers under certain circumstances. And one of those circumstances is taking action which would, like, basically halt the economy, or like severely impact the economy, right? So that's the sort of grounds that they use to justify this. The fact that the truckers were blocking the economy so much that they were literally losing millions of dollars in revenue every day.
Yeah.
And again, I would still draw back.
I agree that something had to be done. I just don't think the decision he made was good, personally.
I would still draw back again, even though this is a parliamentary system. If what you're saying is that, like, because you elected representatives and not Trudeau himself, like, it's still the concept of consent of the governed still plays a part here, right?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Even though this is a parliamentary system and you're electing representatives, that still the consent of the governed still plays a part. It is a democracy still. You are still electing representatives to fill your interests. So yeah, it's still consent of the governed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying what he did is illegal. I just don't think it was correct, personally. And I can disagree with the decision of the leader of my country.
Yeah, of course you can, and I respect that. I totally think, and I understand where you're coming from with that. And I definitely, if he used military force, I probably wouldn't have too much problem with that either. But I don't know. He made the decision to do the economic thing, so whatever.
I just think that the problem with the Emergencies Act is that I feel like it's too broad. It gives too much extrajudicial power.
I don't want to say slippery slope because everyone gets mad, but
it's not just a slippery slope, but it's like there's a lot of, like, you can pretty much claim any protest or like general strike or something as now being like a justification to use this act and shut it down, right? So like
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
too
really
heavy-handed.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either. That's my main issue. I feel like we're on the same page,
Yeah.
Mindwaves. Although,
Fair enough.
I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not really in the know on a lot of like the political nuances of certain things. I just know kind of broadly.
Yeah, we cover YouTube drama, so.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
you.
The only reason I know a little more is because I'm Canadian and I vote. But that's
I'm just a
it.
dumbass. Most of my
And
knowledge
Destiny's
on
been
this
playing
shit
League,
is
so I have no takes to steal.
yeah, exactly.
I only know what I know on it because I read up on it, and I've already done like a couple of panels on it. I mean, obviously, it's like Canada's not my country, so you know, like anything I say, I'm just like speculating, really, like on certain things. But like, I think it is important to understand, like, this is just how democracy works. And it sucks sometimes, you know. So, yeah, pretty much what it is. I understand where you're coming from with the economic thing.
Okay, I need to confirm a fact right now. With the Emergencies Act, is it just like put in place by Justin Trudeau? Is it like an immediate thing that's done only with him and his team?
It gives him 30 days to use a certain powers that he wouldn't otherwise.
Without any and he alone can make the decision without any extra like deliberation by the cat.
Yes,
like okay.
Yeah, the executive branch or whatever.
There's an issue when you say we voted him in. That's how democracy works, Stardust. Because when we vote people in, we're voting one person in to be part of a cabinet of over 100 people to make decisions collectively. And
but when you vote in those representatives who put that person in, you are still consenting that for these situations, like right where an Emergencies Act is used. Yeah, you do in most situations would hope that like they would be consulting with advisors and with cabinet members, but you still are consenting in these certain occasions where they're looking for expediency and they're going to use the most expedient method possible to come to a decision and take action, right? It's still consent of the governed. It's not anything different.
Yeah, because the legislation that allows him these powers was written and enacted by representatives that were also voted in by the people, right? So, you know, the people voted to, in a way, give him these powers. So you'd have to take contention with like that specific legislation and, you know, try to put effort into electing people that would reverse it or something, right? Like,
it just seemed in a system where it's supposed to be multiple parties collaborating, and obviously we vote on which party has more power over the other, but when it's a government system where all parties are supposed to be collaborating, obviously if it's mostly liberal in office, more liberal decisions are going to get passed through or whatever, but it just seems scummy when you just take all of that power away and just give it just to one person for one decision. It's just...
I mean, it's just, I guess your contention then would be with how your government works, right?
Well, I do think it's fair to say that like you should be wary of like you know, the federal government giving themselves too much power in some instances, especially under declaration of like emergency powers, right? Like yeah, I don't know. It is unfortunately, like it seems to be the case that a lot of these powers are necessary under certain circumstances, like I don't know, like natural disasters or something like that. You want the president to be able to like make quick actions, right, and like make the, you know, whatever.
But when you're letting these protests go on for months before you make an emergency act, it's not really an emergency. I feel like the Emergency Act was misused.
Well, it's an emergency in the sense that like, how long can you let the economy hurt like that before it starts seriously impacting people's lives, and not just in the short term but also in the long term, like the long term ramifications of interrupting an economy like that, right? So it's like you can't let a minority like hold the whole country hostage.
I'm not saying a minority's gonna hold the whole country. Honestly, if Emergency Act wasn't used and all of the cabinet or whatever it's called, all of the people are brought together, they would probably maybe vote for Trudeau's position. I mean, a lot of the NDP goes with what liberals say, and NDP is a big chunk of the people in there. So I just agree with oh my god, someone in chat is calling me like a retard. I said I don't know much, and I specifically asked if the Emergency Act is only something Trudeau immediately snaps his fingers without any deliberation. You say the Parliament has discussed it. I guess maybe they have, but I asked and people said no. So I'm literally just going based on my knowledge. I don't fucking know. I'm not making definitive decisions.
Look,
I'm not the one in government. I'm just saying my opinion based on my limited monkey brain knowledge. But based on my monkey brain knowledge, I think freezing bank accounts of truckers doesn't do jack shit. That's what I think.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I think you're getting, and I understand why you're getting it. But what I would say is,
I'm not actually mad. I'm just playing it out. But
oh, okay, all right. I would just say, I would implore you to look at like the Wikipedia for the Canadian Convoy protests. There's a lot of info there. If you're looking for like quick reads, you can also look at like any Wikipedia page on the surrounding situation, really. So, yeah.
Reading.
But I linked it in the general chat.
I'm off the clock. I only read tweets. Can I make this into a YouTube video? Fuck.
Sure, why not?
Oh, hell
you should
no,
do it.
I'm not doing.
I mean, look, all I like, I don't know. It's not. It's guys.
It's
if you
hard
wanna...
when my political opinions are just this is cringe, this is not cringe. It's really hard to have in-depth discussions about sort of things. I think Justin Trudeau is cringe and did blackface. That's my opinion. Like.
I think it's funny that well, I thought that him doing Aladdin was really funny or whatever he did, but
what the
yeah.
hell?
But also that just might be like, you know. Anyways, yeah, I would encourage, if you want to like actually partake in like political discussions, you know, a great place to start is Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of happened accidentally, but.
Well, it's not like you don't use Wikipedia as a source. You read up on it as like a general thing, you know? So.
Nah, fuck that. You just wing every conversation and just ask questions.
I mean, that's kind of what I was doing, but
keep people on their toes.
Yeah.
Don't let them know what's coming.
Yeah, at least I don't know. I do think okay. So you're saying freezing bank accounts is better than conforming to what they want?
I mean, I don't know that it's better, but
well, no, that's what you said. That's what I said. I said that it was the wrong decision and the alternative's better, and then you said I disagree. So you do think
nothing that tear gas can't solve.
True.
Yeah. So if we're looking at it from like the position of somebody using like violence to stop protests, I generally think we have a pretty like bad track record in the US of that. I don't know what the track record is in Canada, but just based on the track record in the US, I see why they're using an economic motivator instead of like brutal force to stop a protest.
What I wonder is there any way that they could have avoided using the Emergencies Act and still like applied pressure on the province to actually take care of the issue themselves?
I think they could have. I think there's probably a way.
Could you have I don't know how the Canadian government works, so maybe I'm just an American talking out my ass, but like, is there any way that the federal government could have put pressure, like, by like maybe threatening to withhold funding of some sort from the certain provinces, right? Like, I don't know.
There's probably a lot of other ways to go. It did seem how quick
they were to enact that Emergencies Act.
Hey, why does chat think I'm anti-white now?
And if
your chat thinks I'm anti-white, Bowblax.
Damn, I'm anti-white too. So welcome to the club.
But I'm not anti-white. Oh my
Fuck
goodness.
all whites. No, I'm just kidding. I died in Kirby. I'm losing brain cells.
Yeah.
How much of a motivator is so like how did they go about freezing the bank accounts? Like if a trucker is protesting and their bank account is frozen and then they stop protesting, how will they know how to unfreeze it?
That's a good question.
I don't know all the details.
By the way,
of
just
the
an update. Infrared has dropped down to 361 live concurrent viewers.
Is he having a meltdown?
I don't know. I'm just watching the number get smaller on the left-hand side of my screen.
Dude, I gotta stop. I am way too blazed for this conversation.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
surprised I actually even engaged in this conversation this long since I'm high. But
Hey, you got a good Twitter video, not Twitter video, YouTube clip.
YouTube video. Yeah, and it's already on YouTube. It's awesome.
Stardust, have you ever gotten too high for a debate?
No, usually I do. Usually I'm sober before I do debates, and usually I'm sober for like Chaos Cast too.
Yeah.
I usually what it is, I usually only get high like once or twice a week, but like the past week, because I've been dealing with like all the stuff with like, you know, like all the slurs and the other stuff, you know, I've been getting high a little bit more often, but yeah.
Yeah, I usually try to avoid going into a debate or like a panel stoned, but like once I'm on it, sometimes I'll get stoned on the podcast. I
was not expecting this one, you know. I was not expecting to have a debate about like the Canadian trucker convoy, but hey man, I read up on it recently, so I think I'm happy.
Someone said it's a 30-day act and the freezing is targeted and monitored. Dude, so they can't buy anything for 30 days. What if they starve? Dude, it's just...
What if, dude?
I think they should learn to code.
I think so, too. I just think it's too harsh. I think there should have been better ways to do it. There probably was better ways to do it, but Trudeau wanted to flex his cock.
I don't think it's just too harsh. I just see the stupid, like, fucking bank freezing thing, and, like, I kind of understand why people are freaking out on Twitter. It just seems like...
It's cringe,
a massive
bad optics.
I mean, yeah, but sending the military in, I don't know how good the optics would be there either.
I'm not saying put in the military, though. Why is that the only other option?
I'm not saying send in the military and gun them down or something, but like...
But even, no, I know, nobody wants them to gun them down.
Well, that's the thing. If
obviously, freezing bank accounts is better than bringing in the military.
I'm not talking... Nobody wants the military to go in and gun people down, but when you send the military in to break up a protest, there is going to be some force used, right? I'm not talking about like gun usage, but there's going to be some brutal force that will be used, and there will be people who resist, and then that will escalate into further violence.
Yeah, but escalating.
I don't know. I see what they're doing.
In general, it seems like a better alternative to like now we have this all-encompassing rule they can use in Canada that they can use at their discretion in any form of protest, freeze bank accounts.
Well, there is they do have to justify it under certain terms, but it's kind of like vague on exactly what qualifies. So that's the issue.
I don't know enough about the details. I just think the truckers are cringe for making the protest, and I think that it just get the shot, stop crying, lol. And then I think Trudeau is a fucking big meanie who is fucking being a big bully. That's all I think. And he does blackface. Dude, I voted in Trudeau to make weed legal the second the next election came up. I'm like, get this fuck out of here, blackface, man. I only want weed legal.
So you're 1-1 for elections?
Yeah, man. Plus, Trudeau made taxes higher. Taxes in Canada are fucking crazy. Oh my god. I'm so tired of it, man. We have to pay 12% tax on all our purchases.
Someone in chat, most of the truckers have the shot. You don't seem to have a clue what you're talking about. Well, you clearly just clicked on the stream because we literally talked about this like 10 minutes ago, dumb fuck.
Fuck these mother truckers, man. Why do people need to be crying about fuck the shot, dude? The fact that COVID's politicized is so fucking cringe. The fact that people
I never thought it would be.
I don't want to take the shot. When? Like, didn't we make fun of
when I saw all those celebrity videos of people going like, I just got the COVID shot. And now,
even the shot,
better. Like all those
COVID itself got politicized. That's what I didn't expect. You know, once it's been politicized, then yeah, obviously people are going to like disagree on everything surrounding it. But like COVID itself never should have been politicized. That should have been something that's like I don't know, that we tackled from both sides. But I am. I was initially surprised.
You need to get more black pills. I mean,
yeah, I guess so.
People are fucking.
I just thought. Dude. I thought the one thing we have is like medical stuff. Maybe like the one thing that like we won't be disputing is medicine. But yeah.
Conservatives be
Here
like,
we are.
man, I don't want to take a needle. Shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
take it, bitch. Well, I think
Good one,
they
Bowblax.
do. Dude,
Well,
my
what I
fucking
think is
opinion.
really a big problem is how much how mainstream it's become to just believing flat out conspiracy theories when it comes out
Yeah.
the when it
Yeah,
comes to
soon
COVID
people
as
are
well.
soon people are gonna think their kids are gonna have autism because they got the vaccine, man. Like, bruh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like if you load up, or well, at least for me, if I load up Facebook and I scroll, like just like people I went to high school with are like posting boomer like conspiracy memes about how like COVID is like from China and created in a lab and all that, like a bunch of crazy shit, right? Like, and it's just like holy shit.
Oh wait,
Like,
Stardust. The other debate Stardust had with Keem was about that. Remember the China lab
It's about
shit?
what?
The China lab shit.
Oh,
where he
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
it was
that's
made
right.
in a lab. I watched this YouTube video, and then you watched the YouTube video, and then we watched the debunk, and he was like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of like content creators or internet personalities like spreading that shit as well, or like just otherwise celebrities. It's kind of crazy.
This is why I cover
We
YouTube drama
live
instead of
in-
politics, man.
Yeah, so one thing that we have a serious problem when we can't tell like what the truth is, right?
Right.
And everything is disputed as truth. So
My fucking uncle, who hits like every possible category of like what's it called when you're more prone to like die from the fucking virus? He's got all of them. The
Autoimmune.
he's got all that shit, dude. Every single thing possible, and he's like, they're telling me at work that I either need to get like COVID tests and stuff like that, or I have to get vaccinated, and I don't want to do either. They want me to get. I'm like, why don't you just get the COVID test if you're not gonna get vaccinated? He goes, because I heard that if you stick that thing up your nose, you can get cancer. And I'm like, are you fucking
God.
kidding
Guess I'm
me?
gonna get cancer.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Guys, I'm getting cancer.
Like literally half my fucking family is like insane anti-vax, and I'm not just talking about like, oh, they're not gonna fucking take the COVID vaccine, and they never were like this until the COVID vaccine, but now it's just everything from the government is dangerous. Stay the fuck away from it.
Well, the thing is, the reason it's so dangerous is because, all right, so this COVID situation is definitely something that impacts everybody, right? And so it's easy for people to want to look for a reason why this is happening and why they hate it. And when you have people telling you, well, this is the reason why you should hate this, and they're filling you up with these conspiracy theories, then it becomes like, I don't know, it's much easier to convince people of these things, I feel like. When they see the sort of impact it has on them, when they have to wear a mask in public all the time, right? Like,
Keem wants
Keem
back
wants
in the
back
call.
in.
oh, he does. Okay.
Go back into the lobby. Keem, we can pull you in.
Yeah,
All right, what do you want to bet this is on? The lab stuff?
probably the lab stuff.
Probably
Yeah.
lab stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they brought it up.
I'm excited though to be called a bitch again. That'll
Maybe
be
I
fun.
misrepresented what happened by accident. I don't know. That's how I remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I don't see him in lobby though. Did he
Did you
leave
see
the
what I said to
server?
Ralph? I took it down because I thought I was gonna get flagged.
I didn't see it. What happened?
Dude, that guy had the audacity. Like, so I made a joke on Twitter saying he flew to fucking where was it? Some third world country. Fucking Portugal. He flew to Portugal. And I go, oh, does he have the vaccine? How the fuck did he fly to Portugal? Then I realized, you don't actually have to be vaccinated to fly there.
Oh, KEEMSTAR
But,
is in the wrong voice. Okay, let me see.
Okay.
Let me pull him. Damn, dude. The lobby, KEEMSTAR. Can you... there's too many channels for me to click through. You're in the wrong voice channel,
I can.
homie.
Homie. It's like, it reminds me of that tweet where, didn't Banished Germo say something like, fuck the truth with technicals.
Yeah, I can drag
I'm
him
leaking
into
the call right
lobby.
now, homie.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll drag him in here. How are you dragging people? Do you have like a fucking did I give you a
can't drag
role?
people in here, but I can drag people into lobby.
Yo.
Oh,
first
okay,
of
that's
all-
awesome.
First of all, there's no lobby. When I come here, there's no lobby to click on.
Oh,
No
really?
lobby
Oh,
whatsoever.
I must have fucked up the permissions then. Okay.
So
I'll fix
I
that.
had the stream playing in the background. Oh, by the way, you're not offended that I called you a bitch, did you? Are you?
No, I'm not. It's fine.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
that was just heat of the moment thing. But
Yeah.
I'm playing the stream in the background, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing Rocket League, and I hear you say, Yeah, it's kind of tough now when we just don't know what to believe. We don't know what to trust. No shit. You want to know why? Because the mainstream media is about as credible as the boomers on Facebook. Like, you don't know what the truth is. There's so many different opinions and so many different facts, competing facts on almost every single story. So I find it crazy that you're bringing up polls. Like, how could there be a poll? Was there a vote in Canada where everyone went to and, you know, voted whether or not they support the Trump? Of course not. Like, these polls mean nothing. Polls have always meant nothing. They'll never mean anything. Dude, like, how are they getting the information from the polls? Who are they asking? Probably their buddies, their friends that are more leaning one political way or the other. They're just calling random people, right?
Let me see. I'll look it up. Yeah, I'll look it up for you. Let me check.
But how do you poll people? How do you poll people? How do you get the average person to poll? I've never been asked to participate in some poll that was going to be presented on Fox News or CNN or anything. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
The other guy that I have muted, I heard that guy say when I was listening to the stream, he goes, yeah, my cousins, like, or people that I went to school with, they were saying some crazy stuff like, you know, this came from a lab or something. We don't know where it came from. Me and you had this debate before.
Do you want me to... sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Well, actually, finish what you're saying, and then I'll tell you about the methodology.
We don't know where COVID came from. We don't know. We literally don't know. It could have came from a lab. It could have came from an animal. It could have came from anywhere.
Okay, so the methodology with this one poll, the survey was conducted with 1,410 Canadian adults from January 31st to February 2nd, 2022. A random sample.
Hold on, did she say 1,000? 1,000.
1,410, yes.
Okay, how many people live in Canada?
3 million? Or 30 million? 30 million, I think?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is just KEEMSTAR not understanding how polls
yeah,
are conducted.
polls are samples, right? You don't
But why do you bring up the poll? The poll means
well,
nothing.
I mean, we're talking about opinion, right? Public opinion.
No, you can't bring up polls. Like, polls mean nothing. They talk to 1,000
How do you
people.
determine public
nothing.
opinion on something?
What does that mean? It means they got the opinion from 1,000 people.
Yeah. Okay. So how would
There's
you determine
millions...
public opinion then?
You don't. You don't. You don't. How could you ever know?
Unless we did, like, an official vote as if it's an election, but for opinions.
Where did Nick go?
I don't know. Maybe... I don't know.
Let me... He must have gotten tired or something. Okay. Right. Yeah. So, sure. I mean, you can choose to not believe polls or whatever. But I mean, polls are sure, yeah. But polls are used for like a variety of things. It doesn't just because it's 1,000 people doesn't mean that like it can't reflect the population of people, right? Especially if they choose to get people from different places.
Do you think polls are accurate? Do you think they represent? Do you think those
there's
people...
always going to be some. There's always going to be some part of it that can like be slightly off, but for the most part, like yeah, if it's 1,400, yeah.
1,000. What was it? 1,400.
1,400. They talk about margin for error here too, as well. The margin of error for.
Okay, hold on. The margin of error, Stardust, just so you know, is the amount of people that live in the country minus 1,400.
Oh,
so how many people live in Canada?
It's like 30 million around.
30 million.
34
million. Okay, so 34 million minus 1,400. The margin of error based on mathematics alone is 33,900,000 and whatever thousand.
That's
the margin of error.
It says here.
But that it doesn't matter what it says. What do you mean? This is common sense stuff, Stardust. They only polled 1,400 people, but there's 34 million people. The margin of error is the people that they didn't ask the question to.
They show the variety of regions they get it from, the variety of different people, gender, age, education. They don't get it all from one place. They take take a group from multiple places. They try to make it they try to make the probability like as accurate as possible. So
well, what if those 33 million people support the truckers? Then your poll would mean shit, right?
Sure, yeah, it would mean shit.
Okay. So that's the margin of error. 33 fucking million. Every single person that wasn't asked. That is the margin of error. Like what?
Right, but you grab like samples again from multiple areas, multiple backgrounds, multiple demographics, right, to make sure it's as accurate as possible.
Okay. I would assume most of the people that support the truckers, I would assume, wouldn't be the type of citizens that would participate in a poll. I would assume.
Maybe. I don't know. But I posted this composition here. I don't know. You probably don't care, but I posted it there if you want it. Sample size. Oh, Fawcett coming in with the, yeah. Sample size determination.
I mean, we're living in a world now where the polls said Hillary Clinton is going to be voted. Like, every poll said Hillary Clinton was going to win. Like,
I mean, no, the percentage.
We're still talking about polls. Like, I can't believe anybody even brings up any poll. Polls are not credible and at all. They're just not. Like, what is this?
Okay, give me a second here. Flamenco
How
then?
Often are polls correct?
I mean, if polls were accurate, wouldn't Hillary have won the 2016 election by a landslide? Wasn't she predicted
That's not
to win
really.
by, like,
No,
90 million
that's
votes?
not what
that's
the polls.
not true.
That's
Okay,
not
so-
what the polls predicted. The polls were predicting the probability of her winning. Right? Yeah. I believe they predicted like what was it like? Mindways, do you remember like 60% or something? Like.
I have no idea exactly
Bowblax,
the
she
numbers.
literally took what you said and reworded it and tried to say what you said wasn't correct. like that's all she did. That's all she did.
No, I didn't. Okay, so it's
The
not
poll
about
said
whether
the-
she would win.
my
It's
God,
the percentage of chance that she would win, right?
Oh my god, that's
So
the
if
same
it's like a
fucking thing.
60%, no, it's not. If it's a 60% chance, there's still like a 40% chance of her losing.
It was like
right?
a 90. It was like 90+%, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, if I
let me
recall
look.
correctly. Also,
What was the 2016?
Chat, did she literally
poll.
just reword what Bowblax said in a different way, say it in a different way, and then come out and like basically say the same exact thing? Did she not just do that? Bowblax said, didn't the polls say that Hillary was gonna win? And you said, no, it said a percentage that she was gonna win. It's the same fucking thing! It's the same thing!
It's
what
not
are we
here.
talking about? What the fuck
It's
are
not.
we talking about?
It's not.
Oh my god,
let me see.
my head is gonna explode. How is it not the same fucking thing? A poll is is based on percentages. Like, what kind of fucking conversation are we fucking having?
Well-
Originally in this debate, you said 60% of Canadians. Why are you talking about percentages? And then saying, oh no, it's not that. But this was a percentage based on what Hillary.
You
what
know
the
how-
fuck? Bro,
Okay.
why can't you just talk with your feet in the ground? Put
Well-
your feet on the ground like a real human. Live on Earth with me for a second.
I am living on Earth with you,
No, you're
but
not.
you're
it isn't 60.
you're not. Here's the thing. You're giving everything that comes out of my mouth. You're interpreting it in the most uncharitable way. I think I'm trying to be pretty generous with you. I'm trying to be pretty
not.
generous with anybody else in this conversation, right?
Bowblax
And I
just said that the polls said that Hillary was going to win, and you said no, it was based on the percentages.
No, it said that she had a
What are you saying?
it
It's
said
the
it.
same thing.
No.
It
That's
said
what
that she had a
poll is.
1 to
Oh, a poll
7%.
isn't based on percentage. What is a poll based on? Stardust, you tell me. This is fucking insanity. You're arguing in bad faith. This
The
is just
final-
a
I'm not.
bad
The
faith
final
argument
round
to
of
shut
public
Bowblax
polling-
down. You're such a
I'm
goddamn
not.
idiot,
I love
bro.
Bowblax. Why would I try to shut him down?
Okay, well then you just called him a liar and said that he was wrong.
I didn't call him a liar. Why would I do that?
A poll based on percentages. Is a poll based on percentages?
A poll can be based on, yes, percentages of people who believe something.
Every
But
poll
no,
is based on
yeah,
percentage.
sure, but
Every
but
poll.
the
Then
percentage
shut
can
the
mean different
fuck up.
things.
Then shut
No,
up.
there's more
Every
nuance to it than
poll.
that.
Oh
There's
my
more
God.
nuance to
Oh
it.
my God.
I'm sorry you don't understand
Such
how
a
where
bad
it
faith
is,
argument.
but like
The poll,
Such a bad faith.
the poll argument.
Bad faith argument.
The poll argument aside, when you say 60% of Canadians agree with that, and the sample size is 1,000, I feel like it's not.
here.
It's not accurate to say 60% of Canadians. When in
Again,
reality, 60% of Canadians are millions of people.
Okay, Bowblax.
Not like
Here,
a couple
let me
hundred.
give you the sample composition of the poll. Okay, it makes more sense when you break it down. Okay, so if you look at what I just DM'd you, and it's in the general chat as well.
Okay.
It shows the sample, the amounts of people, and it shows like per region, it shows gender, it shows age, it shows education, right? They do, when you're doing a poll of people, what you do is you try to make it the most balanced poll as possible. You get people from multiple backgrounds, multiple areas, multiple different genders and different makeups and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And so so when using like a sample and creating the sample group to poll that is one of the most important parts of it. And you make sure that the sample size is balanced so it can reflect a larger population. Now, of course, there's always going to be places where there can be like variation or there can be things that are a little bit off. But for the most part, when it comes into the methodology of putting together a sample size, then
yeah.
Now
the point was, I'm sorry, but the point was is that polls can't be trusted. We brought up the Hillary poll, right? And you spun it around with a bad faith argument to avoid the fact that that poll was incorrect. This
what does you think that it predicted?
That we are talking about.
What is that's the issue here. What did you think it predicted? What do you think it predicted? The poll about Hillary.
The wrong answer.
What did you specifically think that it predicted?
The polls on almost every single mainstream media outlet was saying that Hillary Clinton was going to win.
Okay, so if you look at 538, they talk about that, right? Because they were like one of the major places that people cited when they were talking about the probability of Clinton winning, right? So, so basically, they talk about how
why are you saying probability? Like what?
Because
like,
that's
no
what
shit.
it is. It's the probability of somebody winning.
Duh. Like, why are you talking? Like, why are you just adding words? No shit, it's the probability. Like, what are you saying?
Because it's disingenuous to portray it as them saying a landslide win.
Really quickly, can we drag Flamenco in here? He's in the...
Yeah, I'll bring Flamenco in.
Like, what you're saying makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it to you, my dude.
You're like literally saying the poll is based on the percent. No shit. You're trying to make this like, oh, well, it didn't say she was going to win. It said the percentage. It's the same fucking thing.
What are you
saying?
It's not the same thing.
Oh my god.
It's not the same thing. That's a misportrayal of it. I brought Flamenco in. I don't know if you can hear us.
Okay, if I flip a coin, okay, and the coin is either heads or tails, right? But the head side is so weighted that it always lands on the head side, showing tails coming up, right? Then there is a 90% chance that tails is going to show up, all right?
Right.
Now, if I ask you what's going to come up, heads or tails, which one is it going to be?
I can't predict that. It's actually going to be like a 50% chance, right?
No, it's not because it's weighted one way.
Oh, it's weighted one way.
Yeah.
Well, then that would be kind of like cheating, right?
Okay,
I don't know how this is related
don't-
to a poll, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I can have a conversation with you. Like, it's really difficult. Like, you're literally saying the poll was based on percentages. No shit. Like, every poll is based on percentages. Every poll is. That doesn't change the argument that the poll said that Hillary was going to win.
Didn't say she was going to win. It said that she had a certain percentage of winning.
A very small chance.
Yeah, a higher percentage, like 90% chance.
No.
Suggesting that she is going to win.
A lead of 1 to 7%.
How do you say no to that? How do you say no to that?
It was a lead of 1 to 7%.
How do you say no to that?
Clinton's lead was 1 to 7%. I think that there's plenty of space there for Trump to win. Hello?
It was the reporting that was the problem on the polls.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. Like, you're literally slow. I don't.
Yeah, so the reporting, and maybe this solidifies your argument about mainstream media, but the reporting on it may have been portraying it as her winning definitively, but it was a 1 to 7% lead.
Yeah, they polled people, and 90% of them said they're voting for Hillary, right? 90%.
No. So it predicted a
my God,
let me
what is
see
she
here.
saying?
I think it's a 3.3%. It says.
Oh, it predicted she was going to win.
No. It predicted the percentage lead that she has.
Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking god, bro!
I'm sorry that you don't understand how the polls
don't make
You're
predictions on
literally
outcome.
saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You're saying the same thing though. You're saying the same thing.
No.
You're saying it did not say that she was going to win. It said that she had a higher percentage of winning.
Yes, and that percentage was what? 1 to 7%. That's a very small percentage.
1 to 7%. Why are you saying 1 to 7%? What is the
That
percentage?
was the lead. It's a very...
That was the lead.
Who has 1 and who has 7?
No, the lead was somewhere between 1 and 7%, which is still pretty small margin.
Yeah, taking into account the margin of error.
I'm so fucking confused. The polls were saying that Hillary's going to win by 90%. Like,
If you're
90%
talking
chance to
about
win.
I'm talking about 538, and that's like the one that everybody cited, and 538 said 1 to 7%, and in the media, I guess they reported it incorrectly, but 1 to 7% is like somewhere
For who
between
to
1
win?
and 7%
For
is
who to
still
win? For who to win?
for Hillary.
So Hillary had a 1 to 7% chance, or 1 to 7%. No, that's stupid. So you're saying Trump
not stupid.
Trump had a 93% chance of winning? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Oh my god, he doesn't know.
Oh my god.
What are you saying? Explain yourself.
I don't know that I can explain this to you if we're having this much trouble in just like communicating.
Well, you're not explaining it. We're talking about
Well,
polls.
I've been trying to explain things to you all night. And you're not being very charitable. That's just the end of it.
Listen.
I understand
Me
you
and
don't
Bowblax
like me.
both were talking
don't-
about polls that came out in the media saying that Hillary Clinton had a 90% chance to win.
Okay, do you have those polls? Can you link them?
You come out and you say...
Can you link those polls?
Say I'm sorry, I'm still talking. You come back and say 1 to 7% with no context of what you're referring to, right?
I'm talking about 538.
I then have to follow up and say, are you saying that she had a 1 to 7% chance to win? What, like we were just referring, she had a 90% chance to win, meaning that Trump would have like some percentage, and then you go, no, like there would be the split. Like, dude, just use your words. Use the English.
I've been saying all night, 1 to 7%, 1 to 7% of the lead. I look, Keemstar, I'm trying to explain it to you, but if you have this poll about her 90% winning, then I would love to see that, because that's not what I was like basing anything off of.
I saw it everywhere.
I know you saw it. Can you link it to me, please?
Saw it in a fever dream.
Looking it up because I have to do your work for you.
I mean, I'm linking things for you all night. The least you can do is link something that you're claiming that you saw. So.
He saw it in the YouTube videos about the truckers.
I don't know. I just
1 to 7% higher chance of winning.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how the truckers or 60% of people not supporting the truckers versus 40% supporting is relevant to Trudeau's decision on freezing bank accounts.
It's not relevant.
I just don't see the relevance. Even if the poll was 100% correct, which, I mean, if I were to guess based on what I know, most people probably wouldn't support the trucker protest in Canada. But, I mean, I don't know why that's relevant to Trudeau's decision to freeze bank accounts. If we're gonna poll on people's, people saying that Trudeau's decision was good from putting in the Emergency Act and freezing bank accounts, I don't think that'd be 60%. I think that would be, like, 10% of people agree with that.
Just link it in the general chat.
I put it in the voice general chat, whatever, okay? It says right here, okay, why were the polls so wrong? This is from the Pew Research Center, right? It said that they were giving Clinton
I'm literally looking at
70 to as high as 99% chance of winning the election. Why were the polls wrong?
So, okay, I see.
Election forecasters. These are people that are making commentary.
Yeah, these are... yeah, this is... Okay, so these are election... I think Mindwaves is making good points here, but unfortunately you have him muted. But essentially, yeah, these are it's basically election forecasters. When we look at like the most reputable source for at least for polling and stuff, and for checking out like who's going to win something, I look at 538. And the 538 poll specifically. So, talking about a 1 to 7% higher.
Ladies and gentlemen, this coward. We're having a debate if polls are argument. This coward decided to grab the most favorable poll for her argument and say that is the most credible one, so I'm going with that one. This fucking coward. We are talking about polls.
Okay, we can rewind like 20 minutes and you'll see me again citing 538. I've been citing it for the past
I'm citing polls. I'm citing polls in general. And you idiot, you go and grab one that favors your argument and that's the only one you want to refer to? Go fuck yourself, you fucking coward. We're talking about polls in general. Stop
polls in general. And even what you linked, is actually kind of supporting my point. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, you want me to go by your source, right? With your source.
I want you to go to buy
your
polls.
Source. Okay. Your source, what you linked,
I'm
says
saying polls don't mean shit.
KEEMSTAR, please.
I am saying that polls are wrong.
KEEMSTAR. What you linked to me says exactly the same thing that I've been saying for the past 20 minutes. With few exceptions, the final round of public polling showed Clinton with a lead of 1 to 7 percentage points in the national popular vote. Your entire source, KEEMSTAR, proved my point right. So I'm sorry, I just scrolled down to the second paragraph here. It's exactly what I've been saying for the past 20 minutes. Get fucked. So
actually, no, you get fucked. Because we all seen the fucking reports, and it says right here in the article that the polls were coming out 70 to 99% in favor of Hillary Clinton, and the polling was wrong. And there are many articles that anybody in chat could just Google search.
These are relying.
Wrong.
Okay.
Can go to Google
no.
Right
Here,
now
let's read. Kanye. Not Kanye.
No.
KEEMSTAR. I can't believe I called you Kanye. No. Wait. KEEMSTAR.
Why was the 2016 polling wrong? Look it up. Google it.
Okay, yeah, and here's the article. KEEMSTAR. I understand that you are afraid of me reading the sentence that you just breezed over. Okay, I'm sorry. Chat here. Let's read this very sentence that he's talking about. Okay, it says relying largely on opinion polls, election forecasters put Clinton's chance of winning at anywhere from 70 to as high as 99%. That is election forecasters. When we look down, a paragraph down, it says, with few exceptions, the final round of public polling showed Clinton with a lead of 1 to 7 percentage points in the national popular vote. State-level polling was more variable. No, we're not watching a video. I used your own resource, KEEMSTAR. I used your resource.
Okay, you're literally
I used
trying
your
to say,
resource.
You're literally trying to say the polling was between 1 and 7%. Like, what the fuck are you
You guys
saying?
can look
The
here.
polls
Actually,
were
let me
wrong.
screen share this to Bowblax. Can you show the screen share?
Do you
of
want?
this
Wait,
source
do you
that-
want me to screen
this
share or
source
you
that-
to screen share?
I'm going to screen share. But
Okay,
I don't know
I'll
if your
show
chat
it.
can see
I'll
it.
show it. I'll
Okay.
show it.
Okay. So here is the thing that KEEMSTAR linked, right? And the thing that he's talking about here is relying largely on opinion polls. Election forecasters put Clinton's chance of winning at anywhere from 70 to as high as 99%. And this is, again, election forecasters put her there, right?
Oh my
when we
God,
look
you're
down
so
here,
wrong. You're
when we
so
look down
wrong.
here, I'm sorry, KEEMSTAR, I let you speak, okay? When we look down here, it says, with few exceptions, the final round of public polling showed Clinton with a lead of 1 to 7 percentage points in the national popular vote. State-level polling was more variable, but there were a few instances where polls overstated Trump's support. So, 1 to 7 percentage points in the national popular vote. The final round of public polling. This is your source, KEEMSTAR.
Well, here's another source, the New York Times. It might seem strange to argue that the
Oh.
polls could
Another
have
one
been
he
the
hasn't
result
read.
of the election.
Another one he
And,
hasn't read,
could
yeah.
still be. No, well, of course I haven't read them. I was watching the
This
news.
is-
All the
this
polls
is-
were
Of course he
wrong.
hasn't read them.
KEEMSTAR, that thing that you just linked, the video you just linked,
KEEMSTAR, Stardust.
the video
Stardust.
that you just linked is in the
Stardust.
is
The
the same
polls were
article.
wrong.
It's in the
The
article. Do you
polls were
understand that?
wrong. Do you understand that the
okay.
polls were wrong in the 2016 election? Hillary didn't win Stardust. She
It's
didn't
1 to
win.
7 percentage
Hillary
advantage.
Did not win the 2016
Again,
election.
1 to 7 percentage points in the national
Stardust,
popular
Stardust.
vote. This is
Hillary-
saying exactly what
Hillary
I've said
didn't-
for the past 20
Hillary-
minutes. I'm just letting you
Hillary
know.
was
For the
not
last
elected.
20%, the
Stardust,
last 20,
Stardust.
the last 20 minutes, the last
Stardust,
20 minutes.
Hillary,
Chat, I have been
Hillary-
consistent.
Hillary
I have been
did not
consistent.
win the election. She didn't win the election.
She didn't win. She only had a 1 to 7%
was
point
wrong.
advantage.
Because the polls were wrong.
No, I'm
Polls were
sorry.
wrong.
You're I'm sorry you're
Okay.
wrong. I've
Well,
been
she
saying
had a
this
one-
exact same
Stardust,
thing
Stardust,
for
Stardust.
20
If it-
minutes
Stardust, if she had a 1 to 7% advantage, how come she didn't win?
because it was
Polls
only
are
1
wrong.
to 7%
Polls are wrong.
advantage.
Polls are wrong. Polls were wrong.
Okay. All right.
Polls were wrong. That is the whole debate that we're having. Are polls correct or not? The polls
And
were wrong.
the
Polls
poll
do not make
was
predictions. They're just a
using
reflection of
polls.
public opinion at that
They're
time.
wrong.
That's it.
you know
They're
what?
not
I think I'm
accurate.
very satisfied with this. Thank you, KEEMSTAR, for the wonderful conversation.
You're very
um,
satisfied that you just
yeah.
proved that polls are wrong?
That I proved my point, that I've been consistent
polls
this
are
entire
wrong.
time.
That
1 to
polls are
7%.
wrong.
1 to
That
7%.
polls
That
are
is not a
wrong.
prediction. That is not a prediction. That is just a reflection, right?
God.
It
So,
shows a 1 to
so
7 percentage point
this
advantage
entire-
in the
you're just
national
repeating the
popular
same
vote.
thing. We heard you the first 50 fucking
Yeah,
times.
but you're not getting it.
No, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. The poll was wrong, regardless. There were so many polls out
She-
there that showed Hillary as a huge
She won the
lead.
popular
The New
vote. She
York
lost the
Times-
electoral college vote.
Really? Did she? I didn't know that. Oh my god, thank you for the information, you fucking idiot.
Well, I mean,
My point
if
was, is
she,
that the poll was
the
wrong.
polls weren't incorrect then, right?
What?
If she won the popular vote and she lost electoral college, the poll wasn't wrong.
The poll was based on if she was going to win the election. The poll was based
No,
on whether she
the
would
poll
win the
was
election.
saying that the poll specifically says, I will read it and highlight it for you again, but it says specifically, the final round of public polling showed Clinton with a lead of 1 to 7 percentage points in the national popular vote. National popular vote. National
Yeah,
popular
the poll.
vote.
What poll?
Let's see. With this is your source, by the way. With the final round
You
of
say
public
it's my
polling.
source. Wait, you keep saying it's my source and you keep laughing like a fucking asshole, right? But I literally just Googled because I remember watching TV during the 2016 election and they were saying Hillary's gonna win. On every single news network, they were saying Hillary had a 90% chance
Yeah, that's
of
the
winning.
problem with the
And then at the
reporting.
very- and then
That's
at the
a
very
problem with
last
the
second-
reporting, Keemstar. It's
Okay,
supporting
if
your
there is a problem
hypothesis
with,
about the reporting. It's
if
not
there's a
supporting. It's
problem
not
with the
supporting
reporting, then why are you
your
using these
assertion about the polls.
And why are you using these polls in the trucker situation?
Okay,
if
the
there's a problem
polls
with
are
reporting?
not being misinterpreted by the reporting, right? This one
Why are
clearly
you
was.
using polls? Why are
This
you
one was
using polls
because this
if they're
one.
not accurate? You're
If it
just
says
admitted that
1
they're not
to
accurate. You
no,
just
they
admitted
are
that
accurate.
Polls are not accurate.
They are
But
accurate.
they're not. Hillary didn't win.
No, it was okay. Here. Let me lay this out for you, Keemstar.
You
Okay.
literally just admitted that polls
Here,
are not
no,
accurate.
no, I didn't. Keemstar, you are not getting it, right? We both agree that Hillary won the popular vote, right? And lost the electoral. Okay, we're not going to agree, but that's what was stated, right? We know that this poll is about the national popular vote, right? So, Clinton had a lead of 1 to 7 percentage points in the national popular vote. She won the national popular vote. She lost the electoral vote. So this poll actually was accurate. As far as news organizations misinterpreting the data, I mean, that's supporting your point about, news organizations misreporting things. But the poll here is not inaccurate.
It's a big fat L right there, Keem.
Yeah, big fat L.
Yeah, big fat L to you. You're saying polls are accurate. They're not.
Okay, I just explained it to you. I think we can just agree to disagree here. How about that?
We can agree that you are saying that polling is correct, and that's insane.
Yes.
Nobody should ever say that.
In this situation right here, this is a great example of it. Of poll being accurate.
No, a great example was the 2016 election when every poll said Hillary was going to win, and she didn't win.
It wasn't every poll. It was again every. It was not every poll. It was news outlets misinterpreting the data, right? This says specifically the poll was talking about the national popular vote. She won the national popular vote, and she had a lead of 1 to 7 percentage points in this poll. She lost the electoral vote. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this. You were the one who linked this.
No, this
you were
is
the
an
one who linked
aggregate of
this.
multiple polls.
This is an
literally
aggregate
just
of
Googling
multiple
trying to
polls.
find this fucking
This
information.
is the aggregate of multiple polls, Keemstar. Why do you think it says 1 to 7 percentage points? Otherwise, if it weren't an aggregate, it would just say a number.
I remember the New York Times posting a tweet saying that Hillary Clinton had a 90% chance of winning. Then they updated it as the states came in, and they kept lowering it and lowering it and lowering it. This is the type of polling.
This is the
that I'm
final
referring
poll. Prior.
Final poll. When was it taken?
Final round of public polling.
When was it taken?
You linked this.
I didn't read it, obviously. I Googled it.
Well, maybe you should
And
read
obviously-
next time, Keemstar. There are a lot of advantages to reading.
How can I have time to fucking read it when I'm in this conversation with you? You're stupid.
I have time to
You are
read. I have
stupid.
time to read.
You
I have
are
time to read.
stupid.
Okay, just because
you
you
should
are
have
a
read
slow... Okay, Keemstar, just because you are a slow reader doesn't mean the rest of us are, okay?
Okay, cool. Nice one.
Okay, I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Much respect to you, Keemstar. But yeah, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
You can't have respect for someone that says polling's correct, polling's right. I mean, that's just
You don't
insane.
have to respect me. You don't have to respect
That's
me.
coming from an insane person. Like, you can't fucking believe that.
I mean, I demonstrated it to you, but I don't have I don't have the will in me to do an actual diagram.
Do we have a poll on Canadians' opinion of Trudeau freezing truckers' bank accounts?
Yeah, for the most part, the poll on that actually was not.
There's another article right here.
If I recall correctly, Bowblax, the poll actually supports your point in that. Like, a lot of people are like feeling
Read the
uneasy
article
about
right here.
about
It says,
the
It gutted me to realize
about
I've
the,
been wrong.
economic
Natalie
stuff.
Jackson, a data scientist at the Huffington Post, which had given Clinton a 98% chance of winning.
let's see here. ABC's decision desk. Well, why?
Yeah,
Why
a lot
would
of
you use
bad
ABC's?
commentary.
Why would you use ABC's decision desk?
And then here we have another one
When-
with PBS org talking about the pollsters. The pollsters were wrong. Why does the title say the pollsters were wrong? Are they the ones
him
doing
tell
the
you.
polling?
Why were they wrong?
Pollsters
Yeah, why
largely
were
got
they
it
wrong?
in 2016?
Why were they wrong?
Yeah, why were they wrong?
Well, you know then, right? So explain it to me.
No. You said polling is always accurate, but there's articles with the titles that say pollsters largely got it wrong in 2016. How are they polling in 2020? Why does this
I think
article
I
even have
trust the
title?
Pew Research over ABC or Technology Review.
Again. You are did that service,
you chose this.
Wait,
You
what is
chose
it? What is
this.
the one that you trust? What is the one you trust?
Pew. I'm looking at Pew Research. This was a great article that you linked.
I'm
to,
asking
Star.
you on the polling service that you trust.
Oh, the 538. Where 538 was good.
Is 538 the name of the company that does the polling? What is 538? Explain 538.
It's the website run by I believe Nate. What's his name? Nate.
Okay, so you trust those, right? Did they do the truck? Did they do the truck? The Canadian truck?
I don't think
poll?
that they did the truck
They
thing. No,
didn't.
they do.
They
They
didn't.
do U.S. politics only.
They didn't. They didn't, did they?
No. Why? Why do you think that they should?
You trust the other polling. Why do you trust the other poller?
Well,
blindly?
we can look at the other polling organization, right? Let's pull it up here.
We could look, but it doesn't. They polled 1,400 people.
Right. Again, if you am I still being screen shared? Bowblax?
Yep.
Okay. So, where did I put that? I put it in general. Let me find it. Give me a second here. General.
We're not reading the current articles that I put in.
Because your current
Or
articles
they
are like ABC and PBS. When we're talking about an aggregate
You
of
should
all
probably
polls,
bring up his articles as well to keep it fair.
I will pull it up.
Okay.
So
Yes, you won't.
no, I will. Okay, so let's see. Oh, why am I pulling this? Okay, so this is one of the polls, right? For the trucking, or I think it is one of the ones that I linked.
Yeah, that's the one for their opinion on the protests, not their opinion on the freezing and the Emergency Act, which are two separate things. Because, see, my bigger issue is with the freezing and stuff. I think that's everyone's bigger issue with what Justin Trudeau did in response to the protest, rather than the protest itself. You know?
Sure, and you know what? I've already said that I
speaking for 60% of Canadians saying they don't support these truckers. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know that.
Wait, well, okay, so I understand that we're pivoting around a lot here, but we should probably pick where we want to stay, right? So do you want me to go over the things that you linked me, or do you want me to go over the Canadian polling?
I just want you to admit that polling is not accurate.
Sometimes it can be inaccurate.
I want you to admit that polling is not accurate. Sometimes polling can be right. Of course,
Wait.
but it also can be wrong.
Wait, then you
okay.
because Stardust just admitted that sometimes it's wrong, and then you admitted that sometimes it's right, so now you both agree.
I don't think we have a disagreement. I have said from the beginning that sometimes it can be inaccurate. However, these examples you're bringing up are actually proving me right.
What I don't like at the beginning of this trucker conversation, when you stated bluntly that 66% of Canadians are against these truckers. I don't like that, because I don't think that's legit whatsoever. And you would need some real proof to back that up, not polling 1,400 people. And we both know, and we can both admit, that polls were wrong in the 2016 election.
They were
I
not.
understand, but they were.
They were not. The reporting by news agencies was wrong.
I'm sorry. Then okay. Then
we've already established that. I've already explained that to chat.
Stop talking. Let me finish my statement. There were polls that came out that said
George W. Bush's brother, right, was going to win and be the Republican nominee, correct?
I would have to look at the polls to see if that's what they said.
There were polls that said Ted Cruz was going to win, correct?
Okay. I don't know. I haven't looked at those polls.
It changed throughout the entire election, all right? Did the polls say that Donald Trump was going to win the fucking, Republican ticket right off the bat? Absolutely no.
Okay.
That's how polling works. That's why we do multiple polls.
It's like
through.
the polls were saying that Bernie Sanders was going to be the candidate, but no, Hillary went up there. The polls were wrong. Polls have been wrong through this entire thing.
No, I would have to look at those individually. But as far as the Hillary Clinton
they
one,
were like, what are you fucking saying?
I would have to look at them individually, dude. I'm not going to just take your word on it because one of the things you linked already proved you wrong. However, if we want to go,
my fucking God,
if you can link those polls to me, please link those polls to me.
Because
I would love to see them.
I don't know where the fucking polls are. Every election they say someone's going to win this ticket, and then it switches around and someone else wins. To say that the polls are always right is the fucking stupid.
Who said always right? I never said always.
Oh my God, it's just frustrating. It's so frustrating. Like I'm talking to a toddler.
I feel like I'm talking to a toddler because I tried to explain this article you linked to me, but you don't seem.
What
to
does it
like
even have to do with the truckers, though? You're saying
it doesn't. You're the one who used it as an example. You're the one who used it as an example. I'm only diving into it.
The 2016 election was wrong. There's
I'm
so
sorry.
many
I'm sorry.
There are reports that the
KEEMSTAR.
polls in the 2016
KEEMSTAR.
election are wrong.
You were the one who brought this up, right? That's the only reason I went into this.
Well, I brought it up, but
election.
Oh, okay. Bowblax brought it up.
yeah. Which
Bowblax, did you see polls saying that Hillary Clinton was going to win the 2016 election?
Yeah.
That was reports.
Thank you.
From news agencies.
Yeah, and what are they reporting? Polls, right?
They are misreporting them.
Well, then what Stardust is saying is that the polls said she would win the popular vote, and she did win the popular vote, didn't she?
True.
But not the electoral.
One poll.
This is not one poll. This is an aggregate of polls.
One poll.
This is not one poll. This is what you're saying is inaccurate.
One poll.
I'm sorry, but you have to see that what you're saying is inaccurate.
From CBS News, what went wrong with the polls in 2016? Can we trust them now? Like what? This is like a common thing that every American knows that the polls were wrong in 2016. The fact that
the
you're
aggregate
saying this now
of the final round of public polling showed Clinton with a lead of 1 to 7% points in the national popular vote. I'm just reading what the article says.
We'll read what this article says right here.
Sure.
I just posted in the chat. What does it say?
Okay.
What does it say? What went wrong with the polls in 2016? Can we trust them now?
Okay, let's see.
That's CBS
Here it is.
News.
Scott Keeter, senior survey advisor at the Pew Research Center, said there was understandable surprise on the part of the people. Let's see. Education was paramount. Fucking hell. I believe, yeah, if they're talking about pollsters were unprepared, okay. Let's see. Evaluation of 2016 election polls.
Pollsters were unprepared for the white male, non-college educated voter. Oh, I'm sorry, you clicked off. Can't read it anymore. It was there.
Oh, sorry, I was clicking on something from that article.
So they didn't poll correctly, it seems.
Yeah, but this is like this is not the aggregate we're talking about, right? The aggregate again of the polls was that yes, you can look at like left-wing media sources and they will have whatever poll that makes, certain things look a certain way. But if you look at like the aggregate of all the polls, especially the national the opinion, the national popular vote.
Since this debate is based on a poll that you presented as fact,
it's an aggregate of polls.
Was it an aggregate? Was an aggregate of polls over in Canada that you read?
Oh, for the Canada one. Well, we haven't looked at it. We haven't looked at.
It was only
so it wasn't.
People.
Sure.
It was only 1,400 people. So, but why did you present that as fact? And now you're trying to back up that poll in Canada with 1,400 people being polled by using this other poll where there was an aggregate
Right,
of
but
all
I didn't
polls,
just
right?
link one poll. One of the polls is 1,400 people, sure.
Okay,
There was a
go look
second
at
poll that
another
I
poll.
linked.
Go look at another poll.
Okay, here, let me pull it up. Let's see. The poll. Our public opinion.
Find me a trusted poll saying that 60% of Canadians are against the truckers. Find me a trusted one, and defend why it's trusted.
Sure. Okay. So this one is for 1,500 people. And then the one from Abacus Data is for 1,400 people. This is like what they've been reporting. And let's see. I mean, obviously, like what's going to... we don't have an aggregate yet of what the popular opinion is of the protests. However, when you look at the methodology of this, the methodology is pretty solid. Let me see if I can find it in this. So yes, here it is, methodology. Here's where they show all the samples that they got and from where and what groups. And when you look to create a sample size, you're looking to make a very balanced sample size, right? So you can look through here. It's a variety of different regions, variety of ages, variety of educational backgrounds.
Yep. The police came out today and they said something in a press conference along the lines of, if we see you in the protest, we have cameras, we will recognize you, and we will be studying this, and we will find your identity and freeze your bank accounts and arrest you if we see you in the protest.
Okay.
Did you see that? Did you see that today?
I did not see that today, no.
But that's what they said. It's on Twitter. Like, I'd literally seen that video today. It's actually on my Twitter because I quote tweeted
on the
exactly.
video. It's a video, okay.
It's a video. And so with that type of intimidation from the government that they're going to freeze bank accounts, arrest you, and everything else, how could you even get an accurate poll if you're polling people whether or not they support the truckers or not with that type of intimidation?
So the polls were done before that, though, right?
Before what? This has been going on the whole time.
Well, you said that the police came out today and said that.
Oh, well, yeah. The poll was probably before that. But during this whole process, they were threatening to arrest them, that they stole their gas, that they freezed bank accounts.
Okay.
So
does that change the fact that on a larger scale that people polled still didn't agree with the protests?
Okay. Well, let me ask Bowblax a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's say for a metaphor, let's use let's say alcohol's abolished, right? And you know, you can't drink alcohol, you can't purchase alcohol, none of that stuff, right? And the government's really cracking down on it. And they're doing a poll asking individual people, what's your name, you know, where do you go to school? Because they need to know this background stuff so it can be a fair poll, right? So now they have your personal information and they ask you a question, and if you answer it, you're kind of incriminating yourself as a criminal, right? Do you support drinking alcohol or whatever?
Oh, so you're saying
There's
that
pressure on you to...
Yeah,
but do you see how there would be pressure on you to say
no,
even though you might... Yeah, okay, so there you go.
Yeah. It's not the government doing a poll, though.
Of course, but it's still, I mean, your information is not private whatsoever.
I mean, if they're using that information to freeze people's bank accounts, I mean...
No, they're not using the poll to freeze people's bank accounts, no.
Well, they're using personal information to freeze their bank accounts.
Yeah, but this is like a third party. This is not the government, right?
Okay.
Do you know that the government was like going to arrest reporters for going there and just like literally like reporting on what was happening there? Did you know that, Stardust?
I am not aware of that, but if you have a link of it, I will believe it. So,
yeah. I mean, I saw it on Twitter. I don't have a link. But
you saw it on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, it was like the cops were literally saying that if you are a reporter, you can't go in this area or you'll be arrested.
So Bowblax, I think we have a misunderstanding here. You're talking about these polls that were conducted by a third party, right? When the government is now, I don't support government like putting statements out like we're going to like find people's faces or whatever. But when you're looking at like a poll like this, it's a third party, right? They try to get as balanced of a poll as possible, right? They are not using the data in this poll to make any arrests. This is just this is a third party separate from that.
Yeah, of course. I was just asking additional questions. But...
Sure. If you have any other questions, I am happy to answer.
Sorry, it took a little while for me to get my stuff together. How's it going, guys?
Hi, Flamenco.
It's going well. Yeah, we're just like I guess arguing about polls right now.
I mean, someone sent me a poll. Someone sent me a poll saying that 66% of Canadians agree with the Emergency Act. I mean, maybe that's true. Assuming all of these polls are fucking true, like, I don't know. It's still my opinion that the Emergency Act was cringe, and freezing bank accounts
and the way that they're
overstep. And that's just my opinion.
Wait, where do you stand
and you have
on
a right to
Stardust?
that. You have a right to that opinion. I think that so I'm looking at this from a U.S. perspective, right? And from the perspective that I'm not really a big fan of like military like force being used on protesters. I kind of like would prefer that over it, you know. So yeah.
Wait. Are you approving of the government like fucking with their money?
I put the video in the chat. I put the video in the chat.
Thanks.
That's one of many.
But when we talk about like, I'm like, okay, I think the bank freezing is bad, and then you're like, oh, would you rather have them mowed down or like whatever or military
Not
force?
mowed down, but
yeah, obvious. Okay, I was over exaggerating, but like. That's not the alternative I'm proposing. That's a more aggressive alternative to give in to their demands. That would be one.
Yeah,
at least invite them into negotiations.
And then obviously, I don't know what the exact... There might be a middle ground between, like doing exactly what the truckers want and doing the Emergency Act. Like, I feel like there might be something in between.
Demands? Because some of those demands are for the American. No, I know the Canadian truckers are protesting both Canadian policies and American policies.
It's because the demands are not that extreme, in my opinion.
Why would the United States give in to demands of another country's people?
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? Where's America come into this?
Because these are demands.
Best interest of the people.
Yeah, these are demands on not just the Canadian government, but on the American government from Canadian
Look at my links.
truckers.
Look at my links. There's another reporter.
Okay.
Look at Keemstar's links. Look at Keemstar's links and videos.
Okay.
Yeah, but.
So wait, are you pro the government seizing of assets?
So I mean, people have illustrated the point that it's like kind of uncomfortable, but like.
Well, I think like the protest itself is like, isn't actually violating any laws. Is the main like problem. It's just something that the Canadian government isn't like a big fan of.
Yeah, they're not doing anything illegal. Why are they punished for peaceful protest?
Okay, so I would say that there are.
She doesn't know. She knows nothing about this.
Well, let her answer. Keem, let her answer. Let her answer.
Whoa.
Keem, let her answer. Let her answer.
Flamenco knows. Okay, I think Flamenco knows me well enough that I research things.
Yeah, you didn't even know that they were threatening to arrest.
Blockading
like
ports of entry is not legal. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
like,
not a lawful protest.
Wait, who are they free? Whose bank accounts are they freezing? Didn't it say they're freezing bank accounts of anyone who supports the protest or is in proximity?
The organizers.
No. All right. The cops said today, if you are seen down in these areas where the protest is at, even if it doesn't matter why you're there, they're gonna seize your bank account. They're gonna freeze your bank accounts. They have all these cameras.
They're going to catch you. They're going to do investigative work. This is going to go on for months and months and months, possibly years, and they will freeze your goddamn bank accounts. Even reporters.
Okay.
Like, and they're threatening arrest with reporters. Wait till you see this press conference. We need to start playing this stuff. Like,
yeah,
this
I want to know. I want to know
going on.
exactly what the Emergency Act entailed. I know they're freezing bank accounts, but I want to know specifically who.
Because I'm pretty
like,
sure.
Did Trudeau
I
make
believe it's like a 30-day thing.
Did
It's
Trudeau make like a
thing,
public
I'm pretty
statement?
Sure.
Did Trudeau make like went on the podium and like said exactly what he's gonna do, or do we have like a document of exactly what it entails, or proof?
Play the
of
video.
what's
Play the
happening?
video. Play the video.
They
Play
didn't.
the video.
Okay.
Look at the bring up
Wait.
the tweets.
Isn't like the.
Whatever you want. I take out my bags. I put my hands. I am here for you. For you.
Live in Ottawa. Police moving in on truckers convoy.
I love you all. I'm so sorry you gotta choose. I am sorry.
You got what?
I would not want to be in your position.
Cringe.
I don't want to be here for you. I'm sorry.
Wait, dude, Canadians are even saying sorry in protests. Oh, I fucking love our country, dude. Sorry, even in protests. Let's go.
Country.
They're grabbing people, like they're just grabbing whoever they can, it seems, right now. Been multiple arrests, or they're detaining people at least right now.
I'm going to make it all. I promise you.
Protest looks
Guys,
pretty
as you can see,
peaceful.
the trucks are right there. The trucks are right there.
Look at.
Is this at the Ottawa crossing? Is this at the Ottawa border crossing?
I don't know. I just looked up.
This looks like the middle of, this looks like the middle of Ontario.
Only
but I
the
don't
Ottawa
know.
police have the
Just a
earmuffs.
minute.
The Toronto police do not, so...
Might be wrong.
Yo, can we play the press conference?
The press conference, where is it?
Name and
I
badge
put
number.
it in there. I put it in there.
Lawfully.
Okay.
Alright.
Let's
Okay,
I didn't see that
dokie.
video beforehand. It doesn't seem like there's that much happening in that video. But
Where did you
They
put
are
it?
saying sorry, though.
Sorry, I can't see where you put it. If you can.
it's the last thing. Okay, general. I'm gonna go to general.
Oh,
voice
general, okay.
I guess. There,
Voice
just put it
general.
in there.
Okay. Voice general. Okay.
From independent media. So I was in the crowd yesterday. I was unfortunately hit with some pepper spray. I just have a question. There's some video cameras that the police are using, and some news outlets are reporting that you're gathering intelligence with those cameras. Can you elaborate, like, if the protesters at this point, retreat and go home, are they going to be getting sort of repercussions down the road, or are you going to be sort of actively pursuing the people that you've been sort of documenting and filming who are still out there protesting? What are your plans after this, after the protest is over?
Thank you. It's a great question. And the simple answer is yes. If you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Absolutely. This investigation will go on for months to come.
Oh, sorry.
Christ, holy shit.
Whoa!
What the
People are
fuck?
supporting this, bro?
From a provincial licensing level, from a criminal code level, from a municipal breach of court order, breach of court injunction level. It will be a complicated and time-consuming investigation that will go on for a period of time. You have my commitment that that investigation will continue, and we will hold people accountable for taking our streets over.
Stardust,
Could I just
you
ask
don't
one
know what's
question?
going on over here.
Holy
You need to pay
shit.
attention. You really don't know what's happening over here.
No,
You need
no,
to
I do.
Actually,
I am.
No. You need to
Okay.
actually pay attention.
Well, hold on.
No
Stardust,
person can support this. Nobody can support this. Human to human, you cannot support this shit. It is wrong.
How is... Okay, you go.
Yeah, if it's like months, I don't know. I again would have to look a little bit more into
Simply
this,
for
but if it's-
going to the protest is
Yeah, for
enough
going-
to like get you to like
Yeah,
be
I mean,
fucked
that's
by
what the
federal
police are.
government.
That's coming right out of the police, the
Wait, do you
Canadian
guys have
police's
federal-
mouth. I mean, I feel like that's the best source, right?
Wait,
Well, we need to see more context, I think.
Well,
Bowblax,
but, like,
do you guys have like federal law enforcement? in Canada?
Stardust, listen to me.
I would assume so.
I swear
I
to
don't
God,
know.
on everything, you are so wrong on this. You cannot support this shit.
cannot
Okay,
support
so,
this shit.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see, and I feel uncomfortable with certain parts of it as well. But I guess I just feel like
Uncomfortable.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I mean-
how this is better.
So wait, hold on.
Stardust,
Wait,
real quick. Let me say
Wait.
something.
I don't.
This
Here's the
is
thing.
nothing
I
like
don't.
America. This is
I
nothing
don't.
like
Right.
America.
Sure.
This is not like our country at all. This is
I don't
insanity.
make blanket statements until I know. I don't make blanket statements on specific policies until I know all of the details of that policy. It's the same exact thing that I've done with anything else that I've cited here. Right.
I am vaccinated. I think every adult person should get vaccinated. I believe it.
Okay,
I think the vaccinations are good. Okay.
I agree.
However, what I also feel is that government should not tell these people or tell anyone that you have to or there's going to be a punishment. When they do that, I think that is a violation against our freedom. We are free. We should be able to decide whether or not we want to get a shot or not. If people don't want to do the shot, that's fine. That is fine. I am pro-vax, pro-choice. Someone said it in the chat perfectly, right? But that's the way it has to be. You have to protect these individual people and their freedoms and their choice. My body, my choice. When the government comes in,
this is not related.
When the government comes in and they do a mandate that these truckers they have to get vaccinated in order to be a trucker. That is fucking government overreach. And so they're protesting. And now the result of them protesting is that they're going to freeze their bank. First, their
but
jobs
what are they
threatening.
doing? What are they demanding from the protest?
They're demanding that the mandate goes away. No more mandates.
For truckers.
Okay,
yeah.
and what is the majority of people say? What does America say, right?
Wait, what about America?
Matter.
Because part of this is about. There's a reason why this is happening at border crossings, right?
Stardust.
Wait, let me finish. I have let you guys speak. I
haven't actually gotten to speak, so I just wanted to pause at this real quick.
Yeah.
Your right to peacefully assemble and protest isn't dictated on what the majority of people decide that they want. You understand that can lead to really bad shit if
so yes,
a minority opinion is allowed to be carte blanche
I'm going to explain this
with
to you.
impunity, right?
Right. Sure. The reason why this is happening at so many different border crossings, Alberta, Montana, Ontario, Michigan. The reason why it's happening at so many border crossings is because their demands are not just on the Canadian government. They're also on the American government. Yeah, and I don't think the American government
just because Joe Biden told Justin Trudeau to go after their fucking assets because he's a ghoul doesn't mean that that's right.
It's not right. It's not right.
Is that what that is? Is that how it happened?
Biden explicitly told them to go after the fucking funds. They're using the apparatus that the U.S. government uses to go after fucking terrorists and money launderers.
This is like a Canadian policy.
I know, but they're using aspects of American law enforcement.
This is something that's been the Emergencies Act is not anything new
for terrorists.
It's for terrorists.
Again, if you are blocking border crossings and you are preventing the exercising of freedom of other citizens, then there's an issue.
Stardust, the police and that thing that we just played, they referred to it not as a riot, not as terrorists. They referred to them as protest and protesters.
Okay.
I'm still pretty sure that under Canadian law that the protests themselves are not unlawful. That there is
blocking borders.
I think that
that is illegal.
Wait, how in what way are they blocking borders specifically?
Ports of entry.
They are making
are they clogging up all roads themselves?
They're creating blockades.
Always in and out, or just major thoroughfares?
Yes, multiple ports of entry.
Multiple ports of entry. Yeah, 4 different.
So everybody involved in this should have their assets fucked with.
No, just the ones that are breaking the law, right?
Well, then you disagree with what they're doing because they said they're going after everybody in the protest.
Yeah, if they're going after everybody, then I would disagree with that.
Yeah. I disagree. Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that like there are people who are breaking the law.
I mean,
They're
yes, something needs to be
except-
done about these protests. I agree, something needs to be done. But what they are doing is not the solution, in my opinion.
Again, I don't know all the details of this, so I can't make a blanket statement on it. But if that is if that's what you're saying they are doing, and if that is the case, then I would disagree with that. Yeah.
I mean, that's what came out of the police chief's mouth, like
right
there.
but that's
like
not
that's
not a
get.
good reflection. No, that's not really a good reflection, right? You want to look at like the actual policy.
I mean, that's
in
the
place,
guy
like
in charge. That's the
text.
guy in charge of.
Right, but the guy in charge doesn't recite the entirety of the text.
But he
right?
says what he's going to do, and what he's going to do. Like maybe he's breaking the law.
That's not how. That's not how like policies work, though, right? Like people have standards, they have to exercise them, right?
Dude, it's despicable that you would like put our fellow humans down the way you are, Stardust. I just.
Okay.
So.
We should be free. We should have the right.
Freezing.
So should other people, though.
Freezing bank accounts of the protesters. What does that do? How does that solve the protests? Are the protests
some
gone?
people again have already left because of that, right?
Some, but not enough to stop the blockades, which is the issue. The blockades are the issue, and Trudeau decided to freeze bank accounts to try and solve it. Clearly, it's not working because the blockades are still there. Therefore, he made a bad decision.
I think. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna really comment on that. I think I need to again see more info on it. But I again don't. I don't virtue signal. I like to look at the facts of a situation. If you want a virtue signal, then I'll. That's all within your right.
I feel like I just wait. You thought I virtue signaled there?
No, not you. I think you're just basing this off of it's not you so much. I think that I think that I look at all the facts of a situation before I make a statement on it, because we can only make informed decisions and once we have all the informed once we're informed ourselves, essentially.
Okay,
I'm not going to base that on one video. I'm not going to base that on one article.
One video, but you do.
Yeah.
You gotta at least concede that this video is a significant fact. It's a significant information.
Significant fact.
This information in this video is significant.
That simply attending this protest is enough to have increased scrutiny by their fucking government. Yeah,
this isn't a
really
random person saying it.
Wait.
Stardust, if going to a BLM protest was enough to get your fucking financials.
There's more. Here's why I don't make a blanket statement. It says the context of that press conference after the protests. Okay, let's see. He's talking about was declared illegal. What was declared illegal? Prior to that statement, he said, anyone blocking streets or assisting others in blocking the streets are committing a criminal offense, and you may be arrested. So that is the context that we're missing from that video.
He said if you were at these protests.
Even with that context, I still think it's bad.
But anyone coming to Ottawa to join the demonstration would also be breaking the law.
Okay, so
it is
just
clipped, yeah.
Joining
that video is clipped.
So that's really fucking bad. That's really fucking bad.
Well, if it's people committing crimes, then I think
by simply going to Ottawa to demonstrate.
No, blocking the street.
No. That's not what he said. Well, hold on, real quick, Stardust. That's not what he fucking said. You just read it out. If you come to Ottawa to join in the protest, then you are also going to be scrutinized.
Right. Anyone that's in addition to anyone blocking the streets or assisting others in the blocking of streets are committing a criminal offense. You may be arrested.
In addition.
The problem is that that's really bad, right? You can agree that simply going to a demonstration shouldn't be justification to have.
Simply going to a demonstration shouldn't be justification. You are correct.
Okay.
But he is specifically talking about legal activities.
Stardust.
Okay.
In addition, no, it's not in addition. It's prior to that statement.
An important point.
Prior to that
An important point is that they're saying, in addition to people assisting the protesters. Now, what do they define as assisting? Because they could define assisting as them just standing next to the street and having a sign saying, "I support
criminal activities," right?
But yeah, but what do they define? Okay, so assisting in criminal activities. So
you bring them
let's
food.
say there's someone bringing them food. Let's say there's someone holding up a sign who isn't actually blocking it, but are supporting the protesters. Would that constitute as assisting? Therefore, constitute them freezing those assets of those people?
That's the information we need to find out, right? So it says here, you must leave the area now, the Ottawa Police Service said in a statement and in leaflets handed out to protesters. Anyone blocking streets or assisting others in blocking streets are committing a criminal offense and you may be arrested. You must immediately cease further unlawful activity or you will face charges.
Yes, what do they define as a...
Wait, let me finish. The police warned that anyone coming to Ottawa to join the demonstration would also be breaking the law.
Yeah, joining the demonstration. What level of ambiguity to that statement leads you to believe that simply attending the protest is not grounds for the government in this instance to fuck with the citizens?
Because they are specifically saying anyone blocking streets.
They did not. They said if you come
others.
in to join in the demonstration.
I don't know how I can demonstrate this further to you guys. It's like linear here.
I'm pretty sure we can all assume that the polling would have to be incorrect based on the threats from the government. If you support these truckers, you are a criminal.
By virtue of what, common sense?
No, my waves. You can snicker all you want, but like, do you believe that simply attending this protest is grounds to have your fucking shit fucked with by the government?
No, I don't.
Well, then why don't you cut out the fucking smug little self-satisfied chuckling and actually address this fucking point?
The claim was that somehow dictate, or just because
how with like arguing over polling.
Oh my god, he's just
gonna
talk over me.
It's just so basic, like human rights and like common sense. Like, dude, these people are being fucked so bad by the government.
By the way, let me just like set it in a hypothetical. You know, during the the George Floyd stuff, there was like a lot of instances of a lot of like illegal activities, such as like arsons and stuff and vandalism, all that sort of stuff. Now, granted, a lot of the people there weren't engaging in those things. However, as a means in which to chill any further like possible acts of this, the government says, if you attend these protests, you are going to have your assets seized. You are going to be unable to function in society. Would you support that?
No, I don't support that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but that was never the point, right? The point was that
so now we can get away with this like fucking smuggling.
No. It was because
let Mike say what he wants to say, right?
Keem implied that was somehow indicative of how you can't trust polling, right?
There were Native Americans that were trying to stop a pipeline under Trump, and they went and protested it. Would you say that those Native Americans shouldn't have been arrested?
How are they protesting?
They stood in the way of blocking the fucking pipeline, and they got arrested. I don't think they should have been arrested. Do you?
I'd have to look at the details again.
But you don't know this story. This is like a major story.
Well, based on simple principle, you're saying if someone's blocking something,
Native Americans didn't support a pipeline that Trump was building. So
I want to hear what Mindwaves was saying, though. Like, he was in the middle of saying something. Can we finish?
You keep interrupting him unintentionally.
I don't know who that is.
No, the other guy in the call.
It doesn't really matter because KEEMSTAR's not going to reply, right? It was about what KEEMSTAR said about how fucking polling is somehow like not to be trusted based off of like literally just based off of like how optically bad this looks, right? We really have no idea how that statement from the police is going to affect public opinion at all. And to say that like, oh well, after this it's for sure that the public doesn't support cracking down on these protests, that's an asinine assumption.
Okay, I agree that the protests should stop because it's obviously affecting the economy or whatever. But why do you guys think the best course of action was to freeze the bank accounts in this way? I want to
Well,
hear your
because it's an
opinion.
effective way of like fucking with people and.
No, I want to hear their opinion because they're very. Yeah, I want to. Why do you think this was the best course of action that Trudeau could have done?
Well, I don't agree with it, right? But like, I really don't think it is an effective way to deal with it. But the argument would be that these people are relying on funds to be able to even engage in these protests, right? To pay for the cost of living while they're doing right, because these people aren't working during this time. They're relying on outside sources, right? So it's just trying to crack down on them by making it harder on them to continue it, right? I honestly don't even think it's necessary. I really would just say I think the best alternative would be to like pressure the province to try to deal with it with their police, and if not, then the federal government has to send in the military eventually, because there's no way you can let the entire economy suffer and have long-term ramifications for the entire country and its citizens just because these truckers don't want to get vaccinated.
Okay, Stardust, why do you think this was the best course of action or acceptable course of action?
I think it's a better course of action than like what I see as the alternative, right? However, if this actually is like,
well, there's multiple alternatives. So like,
okay, right. Let me finish. Okay. Right. So I get, you know. Okay. So I think this is like from what I can see, the other alternative is again using like military or police force,
yeah. So what,
and just from the perspective. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about like the force that would need to be used, right? So I guess I just see that like the economic sorry, give me a second here. The economic incentives.
Wait,
hey, let me finish. Okay. Right. I am a little bit concerned about the force that would need to be used in that situation when you send in the military to break up protests, and especially when there's like a blockade, right? Or several blockades, there's definitely going to be some sort of intense force that will be used. So I think that it's an alternative that they're trying to do. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. If it's just used randomly on random citizens, then obviously that's bad, and they shouldn't be doing that. It should only be used if they're going to use it on people who are committing like criminal offenses. And even then, I would hope that it would be temporary.
Okay.
So the thing is, though, okay, so I want to ask, though, because you brought up, like, if it damages the economy, what if, like, a key sector of the economy just decided to go on complete strike, and then they drove an entire, like, sector that the economy is dependent on, like, straight into the ground? Should the government be able to force them to get back to work?
I guess I would need like an example. Like, what do you mean?
Say like
I'm a little bit stoned right now.
Say like yeah, it's okay. Say like a global shipping provider, like all of its crew and stuff, like all of a sudden just said, you know what, we're not going to work until vaccine mandates are over. Would the government have like a legal right to then like force them to stop that?
No, but they're not doing a criminal offense, right? And not working.
It's not the fact that they're striking, right? It's the fact that they're blocking ports of entry.
I'm going to give you all the details based on what I'm saying. Forget reality, just based on what I'm saying. Donald Trump ordered a pipeline to go through a reservation, okay? Many people, especially Native Americans, did not want this. So the Native Americans, along with other people, went and protested this pipeline, and they went to the construction site where they were making the pipeline. And by them being there, they couldn't do construction because people are there protesting. Mm-hmm. The cops came in, arrested the protesters. Do you support police coming in and arresting these Native Americans from trying to protest and stop a pipeline from being built?
Okay, so if there was a hospital that was built on like Native American land, right? Would it be okay for Native Americans to show up and block people from going to work or leaving the site?
No. Answer my question. I don't want to be thrown into some weird shit where you try to get a W because you changed the
Well,
game.
it's a similar. It's a similar like scenario, right?
Just answer my question. Answer my question.
That what should the police be able to intervene there?
Should the police be able to arrest those Native Americans?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. If you put a hospital in the same place.
Remember that.
Okay. Remember
anybody
like
paying attention to Stardust. Stardust agrees with Native Americans being arrested for protesting a pipeline.
Well, I mean, if we're looking at somebody committing a criminal offense, then yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't you argue that Donald Trump and the government are creating the criminal offense by putting a pipeline on a reservation? You wouldn't. You fucking retard. Oh my god.
Okay, well, there are plenty of things that are built on Native American land, right? Again, if you use the example of a hospital that's built on Native American land and Native Americans...
I'm unfamiliar with Native American law in Canada. Here in Canada, Native Americans like own their own land. Like the Canadian government has no control over native land. Is it the same in America or?
It's like pipeline. It's a weird legal area.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Native Americans, right? We've screwed them throughout history. We've went back on treaties. We make their land smaller and smaller. It's just horrible what we've done to Native Americans. And so now the federal government's like, look, we're putting this pipeline in the ground through the reservation. We're going to do it no matter what. And they really had no say in the matter.
Okay, I would have to look into it more. Maybe after looking into it more, I might change my mind, but I can't make that decision right now.
As someone who's left-leaning, it's just shocking that you'd be like, yeah, the cops can arrest them.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of anybody who's committing a crime though, right?
So you're just pro-government. You're pro-government.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you're more pro-government than the individual.
I think that I'm pro-government in the sense that
more than individual freedom.
The individual freedoms shouldn't encroach on other individual freedoms. So
they are.
Right. When somebody is blocking a border crossing, yes, they are infringing on other people's freedoms.
Okay. You have the right. Yeah, but you have the right to get a shot or not. Like you have the right. Like what do you mean? Like
sure.
What do you...
You have the right to get a shot or not. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Then why? But you just said, oh my god, this is so confusing. Flamenco, did she not just say that you can't infringe on someone else's rights?
When they are infringing on the rights of other people, yeah.
Look, if they don't want to get the shot, don't be a trucker. Find a different job.
Yeah, find a different job, you know? So.
No, that's horrible.
I mean, we're also getting into the point where the vaccine mandates not even really being something that's needed, honestly, because everyone's gonna just fucking get Omicron anyway. Holy shit.
Well, I feel like there's two separate discussions here. There's the protests, whether you agree with it or not, or the what Trudeau is doing about it. Personally, I think the truckers should just suck it up and get the vaccine. That's just my opinion. But also, I think what Trudeau is doing is insane.
Their right. But it's their right. I would say
they're right, and then they don't have to work in that industry anymore. Then,
but
right?
That's fucking. But that's tyranny. What are you saying?
Well, okay, they can still work then domestically, right? They don't have to block the border crossing. I don't think America should cede to the citizens of another country.
I think freezing bank accounts...
I think we already do when it comes to some trade things.
Okay, would you have a problem with America saying all Twitch streamers must be vaccinated? If you're not vaccinated, you can't be a Twitch streamer. Would you have any issue with that whatsoever?
Let's use a better example.
Let's use that example.
Let's
use that example. Use that.
I wouldn't care, but I'm selfish and vaccinated.
Well, I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't care either.
You're not a nurse. You're a Twitch streamer.
Okay. I probably wouldn't care. Then, yeah, if it were a Twitch streamer, and I wouldn't care if it were a nurse either. So
you wouldn't care at all.
No, I wouldn't.
The government said you had to get this done.
How do we get rid of polio?
I care more.
Do you still want polio around?
No. It's not. We're not debating if vaccines are good or not. You keep messing that up in your head. We're debating on whether or not you're debating on whether or not the government can force you to get a vaccine.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, they can.
But should it?
Okay, there's two discussions here, because there's the vaccine discussion, and then there's also the discussion of should the government force to break up protests by freezing accounts the way they are. So, like,
we're kind of pivoting around.
I mean, there's two arguments, like, with like...
I mean, like,
is,
one of the people is high in here, so we're going to go in some weird circles.
I think freezing bank accounts is way worse than letting unvaccinated truckers go across the border. That's why I think.
Yeah, but the U.S. doesn't want them, so...
But Canada's one for
the U.S. also wants their
accounts.
goods, so, you know.
U.S. wants a lot of things.
If there is a medicine in the future that is poisonous, that there's no long-term side effects that are known, it gets pushed on to a country because people think it's good, right? And then down the line, it ends up killing those people, all right, hypothetically speaking. You weren't given a choice. You were forced by the government to take this vaccination or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Sure, but mRNA has been, like, in development for 30 years.
Okay, but that's not what...
By the way, we love the Fauci ouchie.
That's not what I said. What I said is,
but there's a difference,
the
right?
power, do you want your health in the hands of the fucking government?
Sometimes, yeah.
No, you don't.
I do.
You never want that. No, you don't.
I think I do.
Oh my God. No, you want to make the decisions on your own personal health, not the government. You want to.
I trust the health organizations that inform those opinions.
Okay, but that's you trusting it. You don't want the government to tell you. That's insane.
Besides, like the problem is that like these restrictions really.
I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree, KEEMSTAR.
The restrictions aren't really even gonna do anything, though. That's the thing. Like it is like essentially pointless. This isn't even like trusting my science, my Reddit.
Oh no, I thought
there's like the fucking
smallpox, guys.
I thought he was talking
about the freezing. COVID is not. What? Well, hold on, real quick. COVID's not smallpox. Two, the fucking like, what's the infection rate with people with vaccines when it comes to the Omicron? Isn't it like 70% or something?
Still reduces your reduces the severity though.
Sure, right? And that would be important if we were ever at like maximum capacity in hospitals, but that isn't the case. So these lockdowns seem to be, and these the COVID restrictions seem to be kind of pointless. They seem to.
So I'm going to disagree with you on the hospital thing, but I think it is far too late at night for us to argue about like the overworking of hospitals.
I'm not talking about overworking of
doctors.
Hospitals. The reason that hospitals are overworking is because they can't hire the staff because of COVID restrictions. The COVID restrictions are stopping.
Because of that.
Yes, it is. Yes, no, Stardust. You know? Do you know? Well, hold on, real quick. Stardust. Do you know what like 95% of hospital funding comes from?
Where?
It comes from elective procedures that they can't do right now because of COVID restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have less funding coming in, you can't hire more people, and when you can't,
that's not all hospitals. Actually, there are hospitals like there for a while. No. In the beginning of the COVID pandemic, yes, elective surgeries were not allowed. Right, it was only like in very rare cases. But now hospitals have lifted restrictions on that.
Right, they've lifted restrictions but not completely removed them, and there's still ones that are causing like a deficit in like hospital funding. So like the main reason is because they can't hire more staff.
The main reason they're having trouble right now is not from that. There are actual hospitals that are having an abundance of patients, and because they have an abundance of patients, they're unable to treat everybody as they would want to treat them.
What is the amount of people who are denied medical access due to ICUs being overflowed with COVID patients? in the U.S.
I'm not sure all of the specifics around that, but I think we're getting away from the initial point of the Canadian truckers.
Yeah, I have a question. If Flamenco's like done with his.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know, Stardust, in your opinion, and I want to know from like I know you're probably gonna answer. Okay, so basically my question is going to be that. Why do you think freezing the bank accounts is better than just letting the truckers cross? And I know you're going to say, oh, we can't let the government, like, go to peer pressure or whatever. But, like, regardless of that, like, I think, personally, that freezing bank accounts does extremely more harm to people of anybody in the protest having their bank accounts frozen, rather than letting, a couple hundred unvaccinated truckers go across the border. So
yeah, but
why...
you don't have to, right? Literally,
okay,
just remove
I asked
them,
Stardust,
right?
But
this doesn't even make common sense.
Listen, if you just don't like the
they're
nuisance that they're making, you can just remove them. It doesn't matter if, like,
everybody
legally they're not doing anything wrong.
They are. They're literally blocking ports of entry. You can't say legally they're not doing anything wrong. That is not legal at all to block ports of entry. You are literally blocking the free movement of people from America to Canada and Canada to America.
They are infringing on the rights of not just other Canadian citizens. They are infringing on the rights of American citizens.
The U.S. government has no say in the business of Canada, unless it's Joe Biden telling people.
It's blocking ports of entry between both countries. It's blocking trade between both countries.
I understand.
Real quick.
I understand, and the protests need to end. I agree, but what I'm saying is that what is worse, freezing the bank accounts or letting unvaccinated truckers go through? Because both
letting unvaccinated truckers go through. Yeah.
Why?
100%.
Okay.
I don't want sick
I just
people.
hope you never
I
run
want
afoul
people
of the state and then they
more
fuck with you guys
of
like this
Omicron.
level.
I don't
Holy
want.
shit.
I don't
Probably
want
not,
more of
though.
Omicron. I don't want to incentivize breaking the law either. And I don't think that the U.S. government should be ceding to the citizens of another government.
Civil disobedience is, it's so well and good. It's just as long as it's something you want. I gotcha.
I think,
as long as it's not blocking the rights of other people to cross a border, to block the rights of people to move.
Do you,
whenever
someone has a
Bowblax, stop. Flamenco. Okay. She is saying that you have a right to protest, all that other stuff, but you can't mess with other free people's rights. So when you're blocking, the roads or whatever, you're fucking with other people. You're fucking with other free people. Right? That's her point, right? But what she's ignoring is that the Prime Minister did a mandate to free people saying, if you don't get this shot, you can't be a truck driver. That is infringing. That's also infringing. It's exactly what she's saying. You're infringing
I can explain
on
this.
the rights of. No, you can't. You literally can't because it's the same fucking thing.
If you finish crying, and then I will explain it to you.
I don't cry.
Please don't start that. No, that always leads to bad shit. Don't espouse that they're losing their emotional control. It's never a good thing.
All right, fine, fair enough.
Then people are just gonna start screaming.
Okay. We have, again, a concept called consent of the governed, right? And you elect certain representatives to carry out certain policies and to make decisions on behalf of the people. I would think that the average Canadian did not elect the truckers to block ports of entry. That is not a duty that has been assigned to the truckers. It is a duty that has been assigned to politicians to make decisions on behalf of the greater good of the country.
Do you think that the Canadian people signed up for politicians to use the same laws that they use to go after terrorist organizations?
That's what I'm saying. Exactly, Flamenco. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Do you think the people who voted Trudeau in 2021 thought there was gonna be a fucking emergency act to fucking freeze bank accounts of anyone standing in the street next to a protest that's peaceful? What? No fucking.
Again, it's not peaceful. It's not peaceful. It's blocking ports of entry.
Stardust, there was a protest based on government overreach. The mandate was considered government overreach. So there was a protest. And the reaction to the protest is more government overreach. You are insane to support this. An insane person would support this.
Okay. 66.
Literally not overreach in
All
any
right.
way. But...
I don't think we're going to agree
it's a
on
legal
this.
provision used to go after terrorist organizations. You think that they're a terrorist organization?
If you're
They're
blocking the
engaging
port
in
of
a
entry,
form of terrorism, yeah.
They were saying
if you're
sorry
blocking
to
the
the
port
police
of entry-
officers.
Okay, dude.
Wait.
So far, the only
We're
people who have
talking
been
about the
killed
facts,
are protesters
We're
who
talking
like, got
about the
trampled over
facts
by horses.
surrounding it, right?
It's literally
There-
9/11.
Wait a minute. Okay. There are ports of entries, multiple ports of entries that are blocking the movement of not just Canadian citizens, but of American citizens too. I think that is a problem and that is a crime. And if they are using that to maybe stop that from happening, then I understand why. I can definitely see, I would have to look into more of it, and I'm willing to change my mind on the economic aspect of that. But like, as far as taking some sort of measure to stop that specific crime, that specific infringement on somebody else's freedom, yes. I think we need to agree to disagree. I think we're not going to get any
is an
further
act of
with
violence
this.
to enact political motivations.
wrong.
I do not think that civil disobedience on this level that is that is non-violent is terrorism. It is civil. No, it is literally civil disobedience.
Okay.
Blocking the free flow of like people and trade between borders, international borders, that is a form of violence. You're leveraging violence, right?
Okay.
You're literally creating a blockade saying, no, you may not cross here.
I don't think that fucking with people's economic things is violence like this.
And it shouldn't matter to you if they use economic measures on them, right? It shouldn't matter to you if they use economic measures on people then, right?
I mean,
it's not violence.
So you're saying that it isn't terrorism?
I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. What do you think?
What do you think?
I think
you can really ask that hypothetical if you
I think
try
economic. Yes, I think
push that.
economic. I think blocking the free flow of people and trade, as well as hindering an entire country economically. Yes, that can be terrorism. But what level of terrorism? I'm not really sure. I do think that it is justified
Blocking a road.
for them.
Blocking a road.
It's not blocking a road. It's
A port of
blocking
entry.
a port of
It's a port of
entry.
entry between two countries.
Okay, you think? Okay.
Are you saying that Black Lives Matter are terrorists?
It depends on what you're talking about. It does,
During the Black Lives Matter protests, they blocked roads. Are you saying they are terrorists?
Did they block ports of entry?
Yeah, the roads they're blocking are different.
You said blocked roads.
Yeah.
You said
I said blocked ports of entry.
Okay.
Ports of entry.
If blocking,
blocking trade,
guys,
blocking,
just make sure that your
the
road,
movement
just
of
make sure that your road
citizens
blockade
of
doesn't
multiple
affect
people.
the GDP, and then it's all fine and good.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't look when they were burning down police precincts. I didn't support that either.
Blocking trades of entry is economic terrorism. You agree, Stardust?
Blocking trade is economic terror.
Okay, to some extent. To some extent, that's what you're saying.
To some extent.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. So freezing the assets of the protesters, would that also be economic terrorism against Canadian citizens?
No, it's a punishment that's given out to stop them from doing that, and I'm pretty sure that they lift it after a while.
If you break the law,
I just wanted your
in a
answer. I'm not
protest,
trying to
If
argue.
you break laws in a protest, are you a terrorist?
It depends on the law. I don't think people should be burning down police precincts.
Are they terrorists for doing that?
I don't know. I don't know if they're terrorists for doing that. I'd have to look at like what our legal definition of terrorism is, right?
I mean,
is it something that's like affecting the GDP?
Was terrorism.
Yeah,
so,
because that is affecting like the broader global
the literal
economy,
goal
right?
is to disrupt the economy.
Are strikes terrorism?
No, because they're not breaking a law.
It wouldn't be a big deal if these people were
breaking the
just
law.
striking, but these people aren't just striking, right? They're demonstrating by blocking ports of entry.
Yeah, blocking ports of entry is kind of cringe.
They can strike all they want, right? They can go and get another job. They don't have to get the vaccine, all right? If they want to cry about it, that's their problem.
In Canada, I don't think that's how it works.
Guys, it is 4:20 a.m.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think we might have to agree to disagree on this.
Yeah.
but I
no,
I
you're wrong.
appreciate it.
I just
Okay.
like the
All right,
main
no,
the main. Oh, hold on,
Keemstar,
real
you're
quick,
wrong. Okay.
real quick.
Oh,
The main thing I
You're fundamentally wrong.
the main thing I want to get out here, and I hope people just take this away. When we've seen it like over the last couple of years, at least in America, where like on paper they can infringe on your rights, but we've seen like lawmakers try to pressure like businesses and other things to like, you know, tamp down on some things that they're not a big fan of. Sometimes they'll just do it like they'll just do it for the fuck of it. If you were in Washington D.C. on January 6th and you made a credit card purchases, guess what? The FBI has all of your financial records on that day. Good luck with that, buddy.
It's related to the Canadian.
And under the auspices of like
How
insurrection,
is this related to the Canadian thing, though?
No, what I'm saying is that the government, like in other institutions like this, are making it very clear that if you engage in civil disobedience that they do not like, then they are going to absolutely remove your ability to function in society. If you are a, like, you know, rational human being, that should terrify the fucking shit out of you. That should really scare the living piss out of you. The government is going to use the apparatus to, huh?
This is such a this is not related to the Canadian thing at all.
It is because they're fucking with their bank accounts.
It's different government. Like,
no, I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, hold on, real quick. One,
because
Trudeau is doing this at the behest of Biden. He is literally said for him to go after the financial things, and the U.S. government has institutions that are helping them do this. This isn't like a thing that the Canadian government is doing. The apparatus that has been set up during like the fucking Patriot Act is currently being used to fuck with the Canadian protests. That should scare the living shit out of everybody, but you know, as long as as long as they say things you don't agree with, it's okay to dehumanize them, I guess. I don't know.
It's not about saying things that you disagree with. It's about breaking laws.
It is.
It's about breaking laws. I think people should have the right to protest. But if you're breaking a law that infringes on the rights of multiple people of different nations, then yeah, there's an issue there.
And simply being associated with them is enough to get you
being
under scrutiny.
Associated should not be something. Yeah, no, being associated should not be something that's
right. But I'm
punished,
saying that is how it is right now, and that should terrify the living shit out of
Canada?
Everybody. Huh?
For Canada?
This is being done at the behest of our government, and the government's already done this shit to American citizens so far, dude.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Yeah, I would have to look into that one. So,
yeah.
But you know what? I still I agree to disagree, and I respect you, Flamenco. So.
Gish Gallop. No, it's literally fucking tied into how the government is gonna fuck with dissidents in the future. Like, holy shit! I'm sorry, you're too stupid to figure that out, chat. Holy fuck.
They can't just use it as like a to crack down just on any protest, right?
Why not?
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't. I mean,
it has certain criteria that has to be made, right? You have to make the argument that that there's a justification for enacting the emergencies, right?
Oh, so just as long as they're able to justify it, just as long as they're able to rationalize it, you have nothing to worry about. Okay, buddy.
Well, that's a very big distinction, right? Like, like this isn't talking about like cracking down on protests in the streets, right? This is talking about like, all right, well, if people are actually aiming to and successfully like crippling our economy in an attempt to, you know, protest for whatever cause, you know, that is an emergency that does affect national security.
The problem with that is that the state basically just gets to decide who is and who is not a threat to this by the ability to do this. And
federal government's always going to have some degree of discretion when it comes to that, right?
And being okay with that is going to lead to complacency that they're going to be able to use to do that more and more.
Dude, what's happening over in Canada is so fucking scary. And like, dude, especially Americans. If Americans don't see that, bro, the world is fucked. Like, us Americans, like, there's no way we can support what the hell is happening in Canada. There's just no way. This shit is so crazy.
Team, we're the ones that are facilitating it, and we're the ones that are also like telling Canada to fucking do
Please,
it. Like,
I'm so bored. Please, can we I would like to go to bed sometime tonight. So.
Well, just admit you're wrong.
Time to buy
I'm not
crypto,
wrong.
boys.
I'm not wrong. I'm very confident in my rightness here. So. But we can, you know what? We can agree to disagree, Keemstar, and you can think that you're right, and I can think that I'm right, and I think that's great.
That you're wrong.
You can agree with somebody else that I'm wrong, but I am very happy to
support what they're doing to these truckers. There's no fucking way.
I mean, I've given you the nuance of the situation, right?
She did say that if they are, which they are, from what I can see, if they're freezing assets of people who aren't actively blocking the road and doing the illegal shit, that's wrong. That's what Stars said.
Yeah,
and also threatening to do it to
be
people
fair
who aren't engaging in like illegal activities. Just simply by being at the protest, you are subject to this sort of shit.
I think that's more wrong than letting the unvaxxed truckers across.
Well, Keemstar, what do you think the federal government should do? Like, what is the solution to dealing with these truckers?
Yeah, so you're wrong. We win.
Open up the roads to negotiations.
What does that mean, though? What do you do?
Open up negotiations.
He might still have you muted, Mindwaves.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So wait, what did you ask him, Mindwaves? Oh yeah, what would Keem do?
Just
what would Keem do?
What should the federal government do?
I think the issue is I'm being like straw man.
If not, send in the military. If not,
it's not really a straw man. It's happening.
No, I know. I think that but like my opinion on this is being straw man, right? You're taking it to the extreme. I've already said that like there is nuance to the situation. If people are like, if people are just being arrested or having their assets frozen for just being somewhere, then obviously that's wrong.
Stardust.
Yeah.
So let me just get this straight, right? The government. This is going to be a long one, so just pay attention. The government has 100% right to mandate that you get a medical procedure, like a vaccination, is what I'm referring to.
We did it with smallpox,
okay?
yeah.
Okay. The government, if you protest against that, the government then can arrest you for protesting.
Only if you break the law in a very specific way.
Already established that they're threatening just the simple act of being there is there. Like they've literally threatened that.
The simple act
in
of being
association with a protest that is literally like holding the economy hostage. Yeah.
Okay, so
there's a broader context that you're leaving out at the end of that.
So wait, okay, hold on. So what you're saying that you're okay if just the mere association is enough, even if they don't engage in unlawful activity to have.
No, I actually don't. I think that they should.
Okay, then don't fucking say that it's in association with them with like something that's engaging in.
But there is an argument for that sort of action.
Something else? We've looped like 5 times.
No, there isn't. If you don't do illegal shit, the government should not go after you.
Okay, I would like
simple as.
I think Mindwaves asked a good question that I would like to give to both Flam and Keem is that like if you were in Justin Trudeau's position with the protests, like what would you do to solve it? What would you do to end it?
At least offer up negotiations.
And mandates. No, and mandates.
Okay.
And the mandate. Obviously, he lost.
Yeah, I mean, would do
obviously
that
the mandates with like the current data that's going on with like how Omicron is spreading, like it's a fucking lost cause. Everyone's just gonna get fucking COVID, dude. But at least offer them like an olive branch and actually sit down at the table with the organizers. Yeah.
Well, here's the number one reason why he should end the mandates. All right, it's just a math thing, right? 90% of the truckers are vaccinated. So why was there a mandate?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
We're like looping. We're Anna 2.0. Like, can we like?
Well, I don't think this specific point was looping because they didn't answer that.
The entirety of the conversation is looping.
It is pretty loopy.
It is Anna.
But I mean, that's what happens when people fundamentally disagree on certain things. Just gets kind of
we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. We fundamentally disagree.
I think everyone got out their points, though. I don't think anything's like missing here, unless someone has something they want to say that they didn't.
Stardust.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something. Stardust.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know why 7 million Jews died?
God, no, please, let's not.
You want to know why?
Not everything has to be the fucking Holocaust. Jesus Christ,
Oh,
please, no.
According to Hitler, who was a horrible piece of shit, they broke the law. They broke the law.
I fucking hate American politics.
You know what? Also,
really
Hitler
do.
had a mustache. Does that make everybody who has a mustache like really
All
bad?
I'm saying is your whole point.
Yes,
is
Aaron
it's
Yeager
the
did
law.
nothing wrong.
Your whole point is they broke the law. They broke the law. They're breaking the law. Well, dude, you can break laws when there's dictators making stupid fucking laws that go against human rights.
But this is not a law. That's not a law that they're breaking. What they're breaking is they're breaking a law in a way that prevents like free people from moving freely.
You know what? We shouldn't even be a country then, according to you, because we broke the law as Americans.
I'm just surprised that KEEMSTAR supports terrorism,
and
honestly.
We fucking...
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
Nine ways,
Like,
please.
I mean,
have a
like,
mustache.
we
I
could
do have a
make the
mustache. I
argument
will
that you
give that to you.
support
I will cede you on
overarching
that
state
point
power,
only,
so.
Lay something.
Don't worry, I know that these institutions will never be used against you, buddy.
Guys,
Probably actually not,
Can we
though.
argue about something else then?
Okay.
Best movie
Hitler
is
didn't do
Minions.
blackface, so.
Cool.
Justin Trudeau did, so.
Minions is
kinda
the best
racist.
movie, and I'm
Why?
going to. What do you mean why? Because
Oh my
it's
god.
cute.
Oh my god. Minions
I mean,
best
like,
movie
but
ever
Wall-E
made?
is cute, and it's
Okay.
also like
Alright.
really well done.
You know what?
Minions is a really great
I
movie.
think
I do
anyone
actually
who
really
thinks
like it.
I think anyone who thinks the Minions is the best movie should have their bank accounts frozen for protesting that.
What am I protesting?
Protesting the fact that other movies are better.
I'm not
Also-
protesting.
Also,
Well,
obviously,
I'm
I'd
just
also
saying.
argue that terrorism is already a buzzword that's used to lead to some very negative connotations, and you know, anyone who's
Anyone who
a little bit
posts-
wary of the state,
And
should
anyone
not,
who supports
willy-nilly
the
call them
Minions,
that.
anyone who posts Minion memes on Facebook should also get their assets frozen as
Oh my
they are
God, what the
assisting
fuck?
the Minions being used in a positive light. I respect
actually,
it.
my
I don't know
ways,
why
do you
we're
support the
cracking
Patriot
jokes.
Act?
I have no idea why we're cracking jokes
Do I
about
support the
Minions
Patriot
when,
Act?
like,
No, I don't.
humans that live,
It's like-
that are your neighbors, Bowblax.
Yeah.
Like, that are, like, I can throw a rock and...
I
Well,
don't
there's
agree with the
humans that
Emergencies
are
Act as written, by the
Well,
way.
I
just for
agree.
the
Okay.
record.
That can't do
Good
their
to know.
They're
jobs
getting
because
their
of that,
rights.
right?
They're getting their
So,
rights
Just the
trampled
Their
on.
humans
implementation
are
of it.
having their free movement being hindered, right?
I mean,
so.
Keem, I make jokes about a lot of. I mean, I literally made a joke about like Hitler not doing blackface, so I make fucked up jokes. But
Nice.
obviously, you can tell by the points that I said that I do think that the freezing of the bank accounts is fucked up, and what Trudeau's doing is fucked up, and I don't like that he's my prime minister. So I do, you know,
Dude,
I do see
nobody
your point.
supports that guy except for... Nobody in Canada supports that prime minister. They all want
Oh
him
yeah,
gone,
the
but
next election's gonna be very different. I'd imagine.
He's
That'd be
not
funny.
going to survive. Nobody in Canada wants him.
I think he called a Jewish woman a fucking Nazi recently.
Oh, no, dude.
Essentially,
That's not
Like,
good optically.
That's not good
Well,
optics.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
the guy you support. That's the guy you support.
I
I
don't
don't.
support him. He's not my
Yeah, you do.
president.
It's not
Prime
prime
Minister,
minister.
yeah.
He's your prime minister.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
not
my
Oregon.
prime minister.
And his mandates.
Well, I don't. I
I'm
don't
American.
support
I'm
Justin.
American.
What Star? Do you have an answer of who you would have voted if you were Canadian in last election?
No, I
Last
don't
year?
have an answer.
Yeah.
I don't have like the
God
insight on
damn.
all of the parties and all of their candidates
Bowblax,
to really like
Americans
have an
don't pay
opinion on
attention
that.
to Canadian politics. It literally doesn't
Keems
matter
out.
to us.
Keems out.